That's why.
Oh, I thought you said we were getting one. Hi. Hi, guys, and welcome to our reality podcast where we're cautiously optimistic and almost fun and also ill prepared. So, as like Barrett's not here with us today, Zach's going to be late. So things are going great, but don't worry because we have Casey here today in Nick City. I'm Roxy Hopman. And it's been a minute since we've been here. We missed our Wednesday podcast because two people had conflicts. I was horribly sick, which has been the theme of this entire season. I have been horribly sick the entire season and in and out of the hospital. But here's what you get today. Nick City, Roxy Hopman, the reality Casey, and at some point, Zach, but no Barrett. He also has a conflict today. But anyway, so hey Bean, hey Jameson. No, Bean, you're not late, but we always are. Chat is open. If you didn't already catch on to that, chat is open, and you know that I will be more than happy to talk to all of you, except for Divine. If Divine shows up, not talking to that person. Don't like Divine.
Not Divine.
Told you I wouldn't forget. I never forget. But anyway, so much has happened since we were here last. I mean, not just, well, I mean, how would we really know what all happened? Because the feeds were down most of the week, but we'll get to that. But we had 3 entire episodes that we have not yet discussed. And I don't want to spend like a whole lot of time on it because, I mean, it's already been aired and discussed, and we're in a brand new week. However, there are some things that occurred last week, whether shown on the episode or not, that I think are pertinent and relevant to the upcoming weeks in the house. So, just to go over briefly what went down during the split house twist fiasco that we had last week. So when we left off with you guys last week, where Divine was an asshole in chat, we had Terrence as one HOH and Michael was another HOH, right? So the outside HOH was Terrence. He nominated initially Joseph and Turner. Then Terrence won the veto and removed Turner from the block, replacing him with Kyle, all because Kyle spilled everything about everything in his life except the fact that he's racist. So that happened. And then inside the house, we had Michael as HOH, who nominated Monty and Jasmine. Brittany won the veto. It was not used. And as expected, Jasmine went home. So that is what happened. And then we had some episodes, like, guys, I can't even tell you. So the feeds went down because supposedly there were wall yellers. Like, we had the feeds up until Joseph and Turner were nominated. And I mean, I don't know if you guys saw it, like right after the feeds came back after nominations for the outside people. And we talked about it briefly last podcast, but it was like complete silence out there. It was like, is the volume working? So what is wrong? Like, no, they just weren't even talking and they just looked so dejected. But then, so people were like all upset about it. And they sent wall yellers. And then supposedly that's why the feeds were down all week. I'm not necessarily buying that, but whatever. So the feeds were down all week. Then they decided to play loud, incredibly loud music, which, by the way, is a tactic used in warfare. Like, what are y'all doing? And when feeds were back, they were intermittent at best and on the inside of the house, which was completely boring, except for when they told Jasmine she was the one going home. That was kind of entertaining. But she took it well. Anyway, so what do you guys think? Thoughts about any of this stuff?
I'm not sure if it was a wall yeller or not, but I was very so I'm very anti-wall yeller for purposes of the feeds being down for 14 plus hours, us not being able to see the entire backyard twist. And I just wish that we were able to watch the show that I pay my live feeds for. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very anti-wall yeller, as I just said. And I feel like I've seen a lot of Big Brother Twitter pages that have been around for a very long time kind of encouraging it and telling people to go wall yell. And I was like, but don't you guys want to watch the feeds? Like, you're literally a feed coverage Twitter account. Why are you encouraging for the feeds to go down? So I just thought that kind of sucked that we weren't able to really watch the whole thing actually play out live, because then we also have to rely on the edit, which we all know is not great. So I don't know. I thought it was a very rough time to be a Big Brother fan during that, because I was like, I just want to watch the damn show, and things were getting juicy. Like, I wanted to watch that. And then after 14 hours, they finally turn on, and the first thing I see is Jasmine passed out on a bed in all 4 cameras. This is not, like, what is going on? This is not what I want to watch. So I was very over it. I was ready for the week to just be over, because in other instances, if there is a wall yeller, they could just lock them all in the house. But like, they had to like do whatever they were doing out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I thought the twist was interesting.
It could have been.
I mean,
it is on some level.
I thought the outside house group, I don't know what you want to call it, was less predictable than the inside group. And to me, if a week isn't predictable, I kind of like it, because like I'm kind of like, what is going to happen? And that's what I like. Like, if I'm going into Thursday night's episode with like anticipation of, oh my god, who is going to go home, like that's my favorite thing. So I feel like the backyard crew did give me that for a little bit, half because we kind of didn't get to see it the whole damn week, and half because it was like not the typical, oh, we just have Alyssa up who's not in the leftovers and we're just going to vote her out. But yeah, I don't know. Terrence winning 2 comps was very random too. Just saying.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw. I told Nick this actually before you got here, Casey, that Terrence was talking about how during the veto, how he had the advantage.
He was by the door. Yep, I saw it. I love the twist. I think it was horribly executed. I'm excited to see BB can really take off with it and really do something good with it.
You know they will.
Yes, and I almost wish that it was a split house, sure, but that they could still talk to each other. That there was just some sort of like in BB Australia. I remember like Tim's first season, it was like a rope, just like cut down the middle of the house. I think that would have been
almost the sheet. Yes,
we almost had the sheet.
That would have been
what I wanted.
And yeah, but I don't know. I just the twist has been disappointing for sure.
I do agree with Casey. It's like, yeah, in theory, I think the twist is a good idea. It was the execution that I had the biggest issue with, and that is a lot for me to say that, because I rarely, if ever, like any twist. I'm like, quit messing with crap. Just stop. Also, Nick, so apparently the link, I don't know if you tweeted out a link to the podcast today, but if so, you need to delete and redo it with the link to this specific one.
See, I think I did tweet this specific one, but I will double check.
No, because when you redid it, it made a new one.
Okay. Yeah.
So all the people that were there before.
Okay. I tweeted
had to go into a new one. So anyway, sorry.
Okay,
it's perfect.
I got it. We're good.
Perfect. I just wanted to make sure, because some people were like, and thank you to Bean in chat, who went into the old one and was like, guys, there's a new one. You got to go over here, because the people were still waiting in the other one, and then came over here. And I was like, I know there was a weird glitch.
I think that was a me fault. I think I know what I was supposed to do, and I clicked something wrong. So, yeah, this is why we have Barrett.
Glitch.
We don't have Barrett, girl. Like, we're struggling, okay? Like,
listen. I was like, I think there was a glitch, but there was no glitch. Nick had a glitch.
Was me.
Nick had the glitch.
Yes.
I wasn't sure. I just knew something messed up. I didn't know what had happened. I was just like, oh, so that's not right. But anyway, whatever. We're here now. And hey, Carissa in chat. Sorry, I know it. Sometimes I just call out something weird like that, like, hey, Carissa, or or answer somebody in chat with no context whatsoever for audio only listeners, or for anybody who watches that's not live and doesn't have the archived live chat pulled up, they're like, what is she talking about? You wish you knew. That's what. Yes,
Exactly.
Bean says, I'm a team player. I love this channel. Thank you. And yeah, you are a team player. Appreciate it.
We love Bean.
Yes. So listen. So much. Okay. I know I said I don't want to talk a whole lot about last week because we're in a new week now, but there are some certain things that do pertain to this week, and then moving forward, it is going to it's already affecting this week. So I specifically want to talk about Kyle outing the leftovers and how all of that went down, which we don't really have. I mean, we have a little bit of that, but we don't have like the entirety of the week because, as I said, no feeds. So we only have the edited version for a lot of it. But I want to talk about some of the things that happened, because I know, you know how Twitter gets. They can be a little bit volatile and a little bit opinionated and a little bit putting all their eggs in one basket, and they're pissed if you mess with their eggs. And so, so what happened? See, here's what happened was, when Kyle spilled the leftovers, folks on Twitter got real mad about that because it put their girl Taylor in danger. And listen, I am, Twitter is more than a little. Yes, Chad. Yes, hell on earth is more accurate. Y'all get me sidetracked. Chad, look at you. Divine's gonna be pissed. Anyway,
she's gonna be real mad today because I'm the only one of the boys here this time. So
I know, because Divine is sexist. Whatever.
You missed all that,
anyway.
Casey. But
I did.
Yeah, well, you didn't miss much. So anyway, they y'all just got me so sidetracked. So Kyle spills it, and it puts Taylor in jeopardy. And I love Taylor. I think Taylor is phenomenal. But I am not on board with this. Just because somebody makes a move that goes against somebody that you really like, I'm gonna hate people for the right reasons. Like, if you're a racist, Kyle, looking at you, like I can hate him for that. Like I can be like, Kyle is such a piece of trash for the things that he has said, not for actions that could be strategic or could be biased. I don't really and truly know. I mean, I'm going to say biased because of some of the things that he said. But for some people, I'm like, yeah, but strategically, it could be a game move that affects the player that we really, really like. And I hate that, but I'm not going to hate them. Does that make sense? I might be just like way off base with that. It's a fine line. And I go back and forth over it. Like, I hate them, but no, I hate them. Like, I don't know.
I think it makes sense what you're saying. And I think a lot of the times people forget that, like, they don't really have the advantage that we do, where we get to like see everything. And, you know, like, we can see what people are saying behind closed doors and conversations that don't include certain people and stuff like that. And people in the house, like, don't have that privilege. So I think it's very easy for us to open up Twitter and be like, oh my God, XYZ said this, and then it not be exactly like accurate of how the people in the house see it, because they don't have the privilege of live feeds.
I get pissed about it for sure. I get pissed.
Oh yeah,
and like, what is wrong with you? But
I do too.
I'm not calling people's work or
writing
people.
fake reviews in Turner's shop, which I think is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
are they really? See this?
Oh, they've been doing it before the season even started.
Yes, and it's like, why? Like, what are you gaining from that? I don't understand. Like, that, how is that better than what people are doing inside of the house? It's really not.
I mean, and that kind of thing aggravates me. But listen, when Kyle started spilling all of that stuff, Twitter and Reddit too. I mean, Reddit is different than Twitter. They're both somewhat divisive and opinionated. I don't hate it. I still show up, but I'm still like, I still love you, but sometimes I'm just like, cut it out. Y'all gotta stop that mess.
I mean, people posted Kyle's house on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen that.
I did not.
People literally found Kyle's house and posted it on Twitter, and that is insane to me. Like, that is crazy. Like, that is not okay. I don't know. Because they were I don't remember exactly who tweeted it. I don't really care. I don't want to promote them. But the tweet said something about how the house was worth $1 million or something like that, and that he had money, or I don't know. The point of the tweet
who cares?
Was really
they all have money.
They all have money for the most part.
Daniel.
Well, but here's my opinion on that. Big Brother is not a game meant only for indigent people, right? Like, it doesn't matter how you live or what you have in the outside world. I don't care if you have millions and trillions of dollars, or if you've got, fives and tens of dollars. It doesn't matter to me. What I care about is how are you moving in the game strategically, and also if I like you or not. Like, it's hard for me to take that emotion out. And make no mistake, listen, this podcast, there are tons of great podcasts about Big Brother that are out there. Tons of people that I absolutely love that cover Big Brother. But we're not like an update, like analyzing type of podcast. We're more of a trash talk and give our opinion on little bits and pieces, and let's just talk about entertaining things that we want to talk about type of podcast. And you can either show up and join in with us. That's the thing I like about being able to chat back and forth with like the people in our chat, is I feel like so many of these people have been with us for so long, and I love to talk back and forth with people about it. And I think it's okay if you don't know every single thing that happened. Like, we are not that podcast, but I can direct you to some that are phenomenal. Like Taryn, he's amazing. But thank you, Lee. Lee says that's why he likes this one so much. I mean, I love it. Listen, we can't all do the same thing, and I don't want to do all of the same thing, because I also have lots of other things that I'm doing. I'm a mom, y'all. Just kidding. I was just practicing my big brother diary room. I'm a mom and I have things to do. I'm just playing. But like, people get real serious about this. And Kyle spilling everything about the leftovers. I know that there were some people who were upset, and yeah, it kind of sucks. But from Kyle's perspective, whether it is coming from unconscious bias or outright racism, or just trying to protect his longevity in the games through a strategic move, it really, honestly, that was his best move, is to get in there. There's only 5 people in the backyard, and Terrence, who he's not aligned with, just one. And he's got his girl out there, and he's looking to have another 10 seconds or, whatever. And
maybe 20 this time.
Maybe 20. We don't know. He might.
Don't give him that much.
Working on that stamina, but he. I don't think he made a bad decision for him. I think he made a bad decision for everybody else that I like, and that pisses me off. But
no, I still feel like he made a really bad choice, because at the end of the day, he ended up picking Alyssa over the leftovers, and it's worked out a lot better for him than what it should have, and that's it. But let's say Turner was like, actually had food and like lived like a normal person for a week and knew that this was happening. I really think he would have evicted Kyle, because that's a whole other thing. These outsiders, after the 48 hours of us not seeing them or whatever, they put some sort of tarp over them. So now they're like in this like bubble where they can't like breathe and there's no wind. It's just really hot. I don't know. I feel like there was definitely like, how is that legal?
I mean, you know, I've questioned that a little bit myself. Like, how can they do this? Like, when they have hostage standoffs, this is like kind of the same protocol. And like, have they brought the fire trucks in to spray them with water hoses yet? Like, what are they doing out there? Like, we said no game talk. Shh. What are they doing to them? Like,
Well, because
so bad.
Brittany, I saw Brittany from last season. Apparently, something had flown over the house that had numbers on it. And she said that they blare like really loud music and they just like told her to go inside. So maybe that's why. Maybe it would be wall yellers.
Maybe.
They just blare music to cut them out because the only other way is the tarp, which I could not imagine living under, covered in ants.
Ew.
Ugh,
Literally,
gross.
yeah.
They didn't even give them like sunscreen. It looked like they were all in the DR, like burned as hell. I was like, am I watching Survivor right now? Like, what is going on?
I don't think
so.
I feel like they should have done it completely differently. I don't know, because the whole outside aspect really affects the game in a whole other way.
It does.
People aren't thinking.
Yes, and like people aren't like living like normal people, like you just said before, Turner. Like it's very. I remember when Spoiler Girl. I don't want to give her the clout that she desperately craves, but she was correct about them living in the backyard, and I will give her that. And that is about it. But she did say that, and I was literally like, "There's no fucking way that they're gonna have these people living in the backyard. Like, absolutely not." And then it happened, and I was like.
Well, because we've seen the other rooms in the Big Brother house where they've hosted like the comps last season it was in the house still, but it was some other rooms. So I was like, okay, they're gonna set up shop there. You know, they can make a room or two out of it, one for sleeping, one for chilling. You know, but no, they just did it all outside, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, I feel like there were some things that were not well thought out, you know, as far as logistics, but you know, okay. It's just like, once again, CBS didn't call me and ask me, which I think is probably the largest part of the problem that they had. If they had asked me, I could have helped them troubleshoot those things. I am a creative person. Call me. But they don't. So, you know, that's why everything they do is a failure. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. In chat, no, you guys can share all of the spoilers that you want. We welcome them. And also, Jameson, I cannot wait to watch the first compilations. Daniel's so pumped about it, by the way. He's so pumped to watch them. So thank you. If you guys are not, yes, if you're not in our Facebook group, you should join it. We're not like those other Facebook groups. We're the cool Facebook group. No, I'm just kidding. That was like a reference to Mean Girls, where she's like, "I'm not like the other moms. I'm a cool mom." we're the cool Facebook group. No, we don't allow all of that BS that goes on with those casual only viewers. Like, we don't allow that. Get real. But Jameson is working on compilations from our podcast over the years, and a lot of little snippets have been posted in there, and they're absolutely hilarious. And there is no telling the things that I have said over the years. I know the things that I say on podcasts regularly right after we do it. And I'm like, probably shouldn't have said that. But you know what? This is who I am. I say things that I shouldn't. And it is what it is. I have ADHD. So anyway, I got it bad. So Kyle turned on the leftovers, and at first we're all like, my God, this is not going to go well. So it's going to be a split vote.
Nope. Right. I was like, okay, it's all up to Terrence this week. All up to Terrence.
I thought the same thing. I was like, Terrence really had everything this week. He got the HOH, he got the veto, and I was going to have the vote to send whoever he wants out. I really was like, he's sitting nice.
Eating. He
yeah.
ate that week.
He did.
He had a little bite of the leftovers.
Right. He had some leftovers, girl. He ate them up.
Yeah, he's full. So and then like some of the things that we didn't see on the feeds that we only had to see like the edited version, and I'd really like to see how things really went down. But so once Kyle gets put up as a replacement and Joseph finds out that everything has been spilled, he's trying to save himself, and they're talking, and I just honestly, so the whole clip on that show, whatever night, where it was like Joseph, they were all sitting there, and Joseph's like telling Alyssa, and she's like, "Oh, so you lied to me," and he's like, "Yeah, I did, and here's why, and this is the truth." To me, that felt so much more genuine than anything. Maybe because I'm privy to what the actual truth is.
Yeah.
But, so there's a little bit of bias there. But just in my real life, when somebody owns something like that and they're like, yeah, I did do that, and this is what led to that, and this is why I did that, and he is still lying to you because he was a part of it. And listen, to be fair, she did have 10 seconds of, I'm not going to say pleasure, but what should have been. She had 10 seconds of something. There's no way it was pleasurable, 10 seconds, but something. So I don't know if that's like clouded her thought processes, like if like the synapses aren't firing correctly in her brain. I don't know, but to me personally, if I have one person who is like, yeah, I did this, all of these things are true, this is why I did this, and now that that's clearly blown up, and at that point he's like, and apparently Michael told Terrence to do it. We'll talk about that in a minute. Like, so I don't have them. I don't know what's going on inside the house. I only have you guys. And so like, I want to try and form something here. And Kyle is still lying to you. It's better off with me. Right. And Kyle's like, not true. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Saying that like about Joseph. He did the shoulders and everything. I know it's true. No, he didn't. But to me, if I'm listening to that, I feel like I would lean more towards the person who's owning every single thing that I know about, and going, yeah, that happened, and I'm sorry, and moving forward. Like, to me, that feels more genuine. And what Kyle is doing, deny, feels disingenuous.
Facts.
That's my perspective. I don't know though. What do y'all think?
Agree.
Go ahead, Casey.
I was just gonna bring up something different, but like Terrence, whenever he first was like, Kyle's been throwing you under the entire time. He's like, I couldn't figure out why you kept bringing his name up as someone that you wanted to keep safe. Terrence, hello, red flag right here about your boy Kyle. Clearly gonna make you feel like you're so good while he's throwing you under. Like, this is the biggest red flag you could have to be like, oh, this person's really good, they need to go, because that he's gonna lie to you. Like, that's my thoughts on that. But no, you're right about Kyle, and I don't understand why Turner was like, Joseph's just burying himself here. I never picked that up. I think it's just because Kyle and Alyssa, 2 numbers versus the 1 of Joseph, but Turner isn't gonna understand that when push comes to shove, Joseph would have picked him over Alyssa, and Kyle will not.
Yeah, it was just like, honestly, look, and I know somebody in chat, Natalie in chat earlier, asked me if I still like Turner. I mean, yeah, I do. Do I like him as much as I like Taylor? Never. Okay, get that straight right now. Never. But oftentimes, the person who I love so much is not necessarily the best player in the house. I'm not calling Taylor a bad player. I think she's got some pretty good instincts, and she definitely has survived. Sometimes
she's the most deserving player.
Yeah, sometimes not through her own merit. Her HOH week was a complete disaster. But sometimes I can still like somebody that makes dumb moves, in my opinion, like Turner. Like, he's doing dumb stuff right now where I just want to be like, Turner, you've got to get in the shower and wash that dirt out of your ears. It's seeping into your brain. Like, this is not working for you, son. And Zach's in the chat, but he's not on here.
Zach is here. I have been waiting to try and add him in, but I didn't know when. So,
Well,
speaking of someone who needs to take a shower,
what are you talking about? No.
Zach. Welcome, Zach.
Hi. So, Nick, your girl's boy Kyle.
No. Not my boy, though.
Oh my
I think Alyssa could win this season, and that's the most scariest thing in the world.
Too, and I kind of live for it.
Like, if she's next to Kyle, she's winning the season.
She is.
If she wins,
ew, why?
It would be like
no,
because Kyle is not liked by Jasmine, by Indy, by Joseph. Like, if you think about votes, like Terrence is gonna vote for Alyssa over Kyle, Michael, like Brittany, especially. Like, it's
because if
it's
Michael,
gonna go down.
I could see
if
even Taylor voting for Alyssa over Michael or over Kyle.
Over Kyle, for sure. No, she will.
Once Michael gets to the jury house, he's definitely gonna be like, "Oh, so y'all want to know about your boy Kyle?
What about Brittany?
Oh yeah, and Brittany too. But yeah,
Brittany will be ready to spill."
Zach Aura in chat is pretty upset that we didn't get an intro chair turn from you upon arrival, which I think would have just really made the show. But
we'll get an outro. If you wanna, it's more than what Big Brother has. Apparently, they don't like doing intros anymore for some reason.
Yeah, well, that gives us something to anticipate. So there's that. So Zach, so far, we've talked about absolutely nothing. I mean, we've kind of gone a little bit back and said, hey, this is kind of what happened last week, and we've talked about Kyle. I don't know how much that you've heard, and Turner hopping on board, and Joseph trying to save himself, and all of America heartbreaking and crying a little bit, or in some
yelling
cases a lot of bit over the way that Joseph was treated. Like, it was heartbreaking. I didn't like it. I hated it, actually.
No, I'm disgusted by. What are they calling themselves? The
after party?
The backyardigans?
Yeah, the after party.
Not the backyardigans.
I mean, yeah, basically. Because they're all acting like children. I don't know who convinced Turner about any of this. Like,
I think Turner just saw it as numbers. 2 numbers for Kyle and Alyssa. 1 number is Joseph. Which is completely wrong in the grand scheme of things, but I think that's Turner's mindset.
Well, Dylan in chat says, I'm upset with Turner. Me too. Do I dislike him? No, but I am upset with him. Upset with Turner mainly because there's a real showman sitting right next to him and he's not taking that shot. How many times do we need to see players make this mistake? No, Dylan says that. It doesn't make sense. It does make sense.
Alyssa and Kyle are in a showmance, but Monty and Joseph are in a bromance. That's so much stronger.
Like, he is in her body. What are you talking about?
I mean, the last time that I checked, which, I mean, granted the feeds were down, so I haven't checked that often, but the last time I checked, Joseph and Monty have not made a 10-second pact. So I don't know. Like, to me, I feel like one.
Not a 10 second.
They didn't have a butterfly floaty moment. Okay.
I mean,
not this. I mean, you don't know that. The feeds are edited, Roxy. Don't forget.
I do not know if any flotation devices were involved in anything whatsoever with their relationship, but it stands to reason that the showmance is a stronger bond. And they should already know it because Kyle threw a huge fit the week before about using the veto on her. That should have been like,
I feel like it's like constantly in their faces. It's like they've seen so many hints of Kyle protecting Alyssa, and yet they still haven't really been like, we got to just put the fucking showmans up on the block. It's common, like, to me, this is common Big Brother knowledge, and I feel like it has been ever since I started watching this show. Everyone's like, you got to put the showmans up together or they're not going to leave. And that's been
someone who loves showmances saying this.
I do love showmances. I normally root for the showmans, not Kyle, but I am saying that this is very common knowledge. And for a house full of super fans, Michael, why are we not doing this? Like, I just don't
Facts.
understand why. Like, how many goddamn times do we have to see the showmans constantly get deep into the game because no one just wants to take the shot and put them both up?
I think Michael like recognizes that now, but the way that I see the house after everything is that we've got two groups of three. We have Michael, Brittany, and Taylor, and we have Kyle, Alyssa, and Turner. Now, I don't really think that this is Turner's shot to take, but whatever. But in the middle, we have Terrence and Monty, who literally, Terrence is going to go whichever way the wind blows. That's how he rolls. Monty, I think, actually wants to stick with the Michael, Brittany, Taylors of the world. So it's going to be interesting how it shakes out. But I think that we're going to have a Turner in the final two, maybe like a Terrence, Alyssa final three with Turner, something like that. And I think he's just going to take this thing home.
I mean, okay, let's not speak things into existence that shouldn't happen. Okay, that's a no. So Victor in chat says unpopular opinion, Monty and Joseph's a bigger threat in comps than Alyssa. No, I think that's a popular opinion because I think that's 100% true. But as far as
I mean, look at Alyssa's stats. I mean,
how
I
many
love her,
jury
but
votes are going to be built up if she's next to really anybody? Because it's not even that she's played a good game; she just hasn't played as horrible of one. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Speaking in terms of loyalty, though, loyalty and 10-second packs.
Well, all of her
Kyle and
loyal
Alyssa.
allies have just been voted out, so it's like she hasn't had to show her loyalties at all to anybody. It's crazy. I hope she goes soon.
Yeah. It won't hurt my feelings a single bit.
I support you having that opinion.
You said yeah, and I heard it, Nick. So
This just in: Nick is not an Alyssa stan anymore.
No, I'm still.
That is breaking news.
Card. I'm holding.
Where's our ticker across the bottom? That needs to be like going like on the news station. Nick no longer stands Alyssa.
I never said those things.
Yes, Jameson says Alyssa, Nick will always defend the Alyssas, and it's true. It's true.
Every Alyssa from 23, Alyssa from 24, Alyssa from 15. I can keep going. Like,
I think that's it.
I mean, unbelievable.
That is it. That's why I stopped.
So you literally can't keep going. But anyway.
No.
So go ahead.
Alyssa is just another Annalise or
Victoria.
No.
Oh my god, don't do her like that.
She's more of a Brittany.
Brittany Haynes? That's ridiculous.
Brittany
no, Brittany.
There's been like 5 Britneys. You got to be a little more specific.
No.
Yeah. It's just like their
soccer mom? No.
Doesn't really do much.
That's in 16.
Looks really great though.
Does she?
She does look really great. Yeah. I think Alyssa's gorgeous. People think she looks like that aunt from that movie though.
No, she reminds me of Lori Loughlin from Full House, like her daughter, Olivia Jade or whatever, like literally twins. So that's probably why I don't like her whenever I look at her.
If she wins, it'd be like
the
BB Can 1. What's her name?
Jillian.
Yes, honestly, she is a Jillian with way less comp wins. Actually, she has 0 comp wins, so I guess calling her Jillian is like.
I think Jillian actually did a little bit more, but I can't think of a player
Jillian
who's actually
4 HOHs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No,
that's why I said like, well,
what player? It's not even like she's a Kayla, even because Kayla was. Just
I've seen people compare. I have seen people compare Alyssa to Jordan, which I think is wrong. But
Jordan.
I would say
Jordan was actually likable. And she fought
Russell. Alyssa is likable. Alyssa is actually likable. Like Alyssa has a lot of jury votes at the end.
Yeah, I'm talking about like
she has
people
likable inside the house. I think.
Yeah, I'm saying Jordan was likable in a sense that at least some fans liked her.
Oh yeah, I loved Jordan.
And At least Jordan got in a fight, and
So
Alyssa's just there.
that
like,
is true. She got in a fight in 13. That's true.
yeah, and she bucked
And
up
in
to
11.
Russell. Like,
Yeah, she
Well-
chest bumped Russell.
I'm not scared of you.
Oh
Russell.
yes, that is
think
true.
I'm
She did
scared of
chest bump him. So Bean wants to know, and I can't decide if I want to do this right now or at the end. We're just gonna do it right now, but we're not gonna elaborate on it. We're gonna do it really quickly. So
Okay.
Bean says, each of you, please give us your final two as of now, not who you want, but who it will be.
Ew.
Brittany and Terrence.
Tiffany and Taylor.
I don't want to live on that timeline where it's Brittany and oh
That's
no.
what I'm choosing as the final two right now, and I think I'm
I'm gonna
pretty
say Alyssa and Turner.
I don't like any of these things that people are saying right
Roxy?
now.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna end very well. That's why we're all saying this.
Okay, well, I don't think it's going to end well either. That's why I'm putting Kyle at the end, which is disgusting. Kyle and
My
let's go, Kyle and God help me, Alyssa. God, I just threw up.
Who
Okay,
wins though, Roxy?
based on who's in the jury house, probably Alyssa. And to be honest with you, Kyle has no jury management, and so I mean,
He
and
doesn't.
he's like really
He
like
has no
the people who
racist
will be in
management
the house,
either. So
that's also true. That's even more true.
It's one
The
thing
people
if
who
you
are
think that
left
they're
in the
working
house know
together.
what he's done.
Yes, because it's one thing if you think, is this a possibility? Could this happen? But he was actively making alliances of just the white people. So it's like,
Mhm.
Well, he
Like,
wasn't
he
just
acted
actively
on
making
it.
alliances. He was verbalizing that was his plan and then making those alliances. And that is why he's a human trash bag. But,
Correct.
so let's see.
it is what it is. So moving
think-
forward, yes.
I
Did
didn't
you
name
already-
my two.
moving
Yeah.
forward.
What?
I
Okay.
didn't name my final two.
I thought you did. My apologies, Zach. Spin around and tell us. Come on.
Even Bean said, "Did Zach answer?"
Yeah.
Listen, Bean, sometimes I don't listen to Zach. Okay. I love him, but
I still think it's going to be, if it's not them together, I think at least Taylor will make it to the end, or Michael will make it to the end. And if
Two.
it's
Who's in the final two?
I want it to be Taylor and
wanna
Michael,
say
but I think it's
quickly-
going to be Taylor and Turner, or
now that is
Michael.
I can live in that universe. And I can live in
Or-
that universe. I'll live in both of those.
Michael and
Okay, no,
Terrence.
we're not going to give 400 scenarios, Zach, so that later
just
you can
saying.
go.
I know,
"See,
so I was
I
trying to get him
was
just to pick two. 'Cause he's
Fine,
like, well, it could be
listen,
Michael and
Taylor and
Turner, then.
Well, it could be. Okay.
Okay,
Who
we
would
have
win,
him
though?
locked in, Taylor. Well, see, this is what Zach does. He'll throw up 500 scenarios, and then when one of them is even halfway true, it could be like 30% true. He'll be like, I told you. I told
Hey,
you. No, you didn't.
almost.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
That's really funny.
Because it's
But-
accurate. That's why it's funny.
Anyway,
No, I'm so sorry, Zach, though. I did not realize you did not answer. I'm so sorry. My apologies. I was trying to concentrate on the last part. Just
So who do y'all
spin
think would
around,
win?
give us a little spin. No, we're moving on. We're trying to
no,
get to this
y'all
week.
guessed each other's who would win between your final twos.
Oh, between yours?
Yeah.
I think Alyssa wins in mine over Turner.
Oh, if it's Brittany and Terrence, I think Brittany's going to win.
Yeah, I agree
Actually,
with that.
I don't know. It's going to be really hard because I think at the end of the day, Jasmine respects Brittany. With the way
Really?
with the way that they like told Jasmine
Actually,
everything,
Right,
with
because
the way
when
that
she
they
came,
yeah,
Yeah,
Jasmine
when
was
she
like, you
came
guys
out
are
the house-
amazing game players. Like she
Mhm.
respected the hell out of Brittany. She thought Kyle was the worst player. So I think Brittany could really swing, especially Alyssa, who she's been, Alyssa's another one, like another vote. They could secure Indy over like a Terrence. So I don't know. I think Brittany's gonna win the game.
Oof. I don't want to live in that world, but
I think Brittany was playing possum like a possum in the road at the beginning of the game, and then she just sprung out of her
I
hole.
was like, I don't remember anybody saying that, and then I realized what he was doing. I was like, what? I'm there though. I'm tracking now. And what about for your two, Zach?
I think Taylor would win against Turner.
yeah.
I think so too, and I hope so. And
I
the only world I want to live in is Zach's world. So
Can I ask y'all what you guys think? So have you guys seen any of like the exit interviews at all or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I think it's very interesting to see someone like Indy, for example, come out and be like, Taylor, I'm rooting for Taylor the most. Like I feel like that's like weird. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Because
it
it's
is
been
weird. They're only saying it
Indy
because
and
of the leading
Jasmine have both
questions.
said that. And I mean, obviously Joseph has, but we know Joseph obviously is rooting for
Because
her.
he actually means it.
Yes,
The
and you could
others
tell
do
in his
not mean
answers.
it.
But
They
it's
don't mean it. They've
it's
been
weird as
asked
hell.
questions. No, it's
Mhm.
because all that is they have been asked questions alluding to the controversy in the outside world,
Mhm.
and they are damage controlling as much as they can because they are going to be stuck in the jury house for much, much longer, and they're going to be in there thinking about these questions that they were asked that has made them go, uh-oh, right? That's all that is. And so that's just lip service. I don't believe any of that for a second, except Joseph 25, attorney at law. I do believe him. He is
I agree.
genuine.
I love Joseph, and I would hate if Taylor went here, but if she did, then her and Joseph, in the jury house, kicking it,
They'd be a really hot couple, just saying. And I really think it's gonna happen because
I think so too.
they give me like DX and Claire vibes where like they're gonna get together postseason.
And they're going to be on The Amazing Race.
Yes, they're going to go on
Which
all of
I
the
would
TV
be
shows.
fucking living for, okay? Like,
And live happily ever after.
Well, I'm just excited for Taylor to get out and realize she's won. Like, didn't she win like an award from E or something?
I don't know if she
was
won
nominated
it, but she was definitely
in the running. She was like ahead of
Yeah.
like Kim Kardashian as
By, like,
far
a
as favorite
lot.
reality star. Yeah, which is amazing. And this is when things like, earlier I was bitching about Big Brother Twitter and the Big Brother fandom as a whole and how ridiculous. I don't want to say they all act. Instead, I'm going to say we all act, because we all act stupid about this stupid show that I hate, love. And this is, I know I bitched about all of it earlier, but this is when I actually love the Big Brother fandom, because look what they did. Look what they did. They elevated somebody who deserves to be up there as a true, like, to me, I know I've said this on here before, gameplay and strategy aside, and that's why we're that kind of podcast, right? All of that aside, I think that Taylor is the most genuine, honest, nicest, kind-hearted person to ever play Big Brother, at least the US version, probably any of them, to be honest, but I haven't seen all of them, so that would be a weird thing for me to say. But I'm just saying, I think she is the kindest, most best, wonderfulest, just greatestest person in the whole world, and I love her so much.
It's almost as if she won Miss Congeniality.
I mean, almost. It's true. She and Sandra Bullock, they're both up there. Just kidding. Making myself laugh. Okay, so can we move on? Actually,
No.
to what we started before Zach arrived.
Yes.
Okay. So, Zach. So we went over a lot of the things that went on in outside house and all of that fiasco. Inside the house, things were calm and predictable, and we knew what was going on, right? And plus it was boring because those were the feeds that we saw intermittently. But we did see. Huh?
I said, and your girl left.
Okay, well, see, that's how you're going to get yourself deleted.
She did.
So, and you too. But what we did see was the agonizing back and forth between Michael and Brittany over if to tell Jasmine and when to tell Jasmine that she, in fact, was the one going home. And then we saw that come to fruition. And I'm not going to lie, it didn't let me down. I thought it was kind of entertaining because, Zach, did you watch any of that at all where she was like, deny, that didn't happen, I didn't say that? And Brittany's kind of like, yeah, you did. I already know all of this information. Did you watch all of that? Like,
I didn't catch
yeah,
that part, no.
happened. She's when they told her, like, she did take it really well. And at first she was like, I didn't do any of those things because they were explaining about how, like the evolution of how it happened and how
5 swatters.
Yes. And how, when Turner was HOH and Daniel went off on that trash bag, Daniel went off on Taylor in the bathroom and the Lay's chip and all of that went down, that was really the turning point for the middle part of the game. That was the catalyst for the middle part of the game until this last week at the leftover implosion. And at first she was like, well, I didn't have anything to do with any of that. I didn't have anything. I wasn't a member of the Fly 5 swatters. And yes, you were. Brittany's like, yeah, I already know about all of this. And so anyway, finally, once Jasmine was like, okay, yeah, you got me. And so, it was just interesting to watch because it was like, I mean, to put it in Jasmine terms, it was like a deer in the headlights. Like a deer caught in the headlights, y'all. And
it really was.
Like, well, okay, yeah. It's like when you get onto a toddler. It's like, did you steal the cookie? And they're like, and they got cookie all over their face. Okay, yes.
She like really didn't know what to say. My favorite part was when they brought up like the old school alliance and they were like, it was like formed in your HOH room. And she was like, it was formed in my HOH room, but I was like not there. Like it happened when I wasn't there. And then like I came up and then they were like, you want to be a part of this? And I was like, yeah, sure. And like that's what happened. Like I wasn't part of it. Like and like the way she was just like talking,
it's like almost manic.
Yeah, it was like so fast. And like her like gestures, she was, yeah. No, I was, yeah. I was there. I was like, all right. Like
Paloma still has a strong hold on her.
I guess so.
Who's the real hypnotist, right? So funny, but
it reminded me of whenever
that was really
whenever Joey got called out for her all girls alliance.
Oh my god.
Yeah, in chat, Gregory says the inside was super boring for real.
Mm-hmm.
And then Roxy cried. That's all I had to take off a few days because Roxy could not. Was just so distraught that her girl was leaving.
She literally sent me a
I was
picture
vomiting.
and she looks like Gina Marie when Nick got voted out on season 15.
You bunch of cockroaches.
She said, how dare we try to podcast?
I was at home. Yeah, cuddled up with a big old pan of butter beans. Just me and my butter beans, morning Jasmine.
Okay, actually, Jasmine was lovely this week. Like, she didn't have any of like the negative influences. I just think Jasmine does not have a mind of her own, and if somebody influences her, she just goes with it.
Have you seen her TikToks? Those are definitely someone who was very heavily influenced.
For real. Lee in chat says, do you think she was the right one to get out, or should they have gotten Monty out when they could?
I go back and forth, but at the same time, I think that it was.
Let me put a different spin on it too. Like,
okay,
let's talk about it only in terms of, like, let's not put our bias of everything we know outside of the house into the opinion on that. Let's look at it just from we can do both, whatever, but let's look at it from the perspective of, is that the right move if you are inside the house? Is that your best move?
I like low-key felt like it was not the best move to get rid of Jasmine, because I always get like nervous watching like the jock type of guys get closer to the end, because I feel like it's a lot easier for people like that to win comps, and compared to Jasmine, who could barely friggin' walk.
Jasmine
Allegedly.
was turning water into wine,
Allegedly.
though.
Yeah, she
She
I don't
actually
know.
was beasting through some of those comps. We were just like, how is she pulling this through? And okay, I actually do want to answer this a little bit better too, Roxy. Like, thinking about it, Jasmine is going to be somebody that's going to be way more likely to be put up before a lot of them versus Monty. And Turner would have nominated Jasmine so fast right here over Taylor or Brittany. So maybe it wasn't the best move.
You are right with that, actually. I didn't even think of that. Like, Turner would have definitely been like,
Or she
she's
was
got to
like the back
go.
door. Yeah, I think
How did she survive this?
Yeah, like Turner would be on her ass this week if she survived that.
Honestly,
Yep.
if she was still here, I think that Turner would have gone back and worked with Taylor, Michael, and Brittany.
I think you're right too. And I think he noms maybe Alyssa and Jasmine, and then the renom there is Terrence, and then just one of those three going. So yeah, I think you're right too, Zach. That's interesting.
Because
those
those after party people, they'd be like, Jasmine's a number, and then he's like, yeah, but I don't like her.
Right.
Yeah.
She's gotta go.
Well, and I mean, and if you're looking at it in terms of, so like something that has been going on inside the house is, oh, well, they have like, oh, haven't you heard Michael and Brittany have a final four together? And at first it was going to be with Michael, Brittany, Joseph, and Taylor. But since we've gotten rid of Joseph, like it's going to be with Monty. Like, that's the thing. And then they're like, well, maybe we can pull Monty in. This is the outside people, right, that are thinking that. Like, that's the whole thing, which actually Michael and Brittany don't even know anything about that. But people are saying that, right? Because that was only discussed between Taylor and Joseph as an option, but nothing ever really truly came from it. It probably would have. But so if you're looking at it like that, it would have been good for Michael and Brittany to get rid of Monty, because that would show, oh, okay, so maybe they weren't going to work together. Now they don't have anybody. It kind of is like, well, they only have just two of them now. Let's go after maybe somebody else. And also, I hate Jasmine, right? But I don't know. Like, it's always hard for me to go like, yes, this is a good move, or no, because there's so many nuances of the game, and trying to look at it is this a good move when there are 8 people in the house, and it's like, is it a good move for this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, this? It's like, you have to look at every single person. Like, is it a good move for that person? And then my brain just goes, I don't know. I would suck at this game so hard. But
I feel like that's why it gets really complicated around this stage of the game too, because you have the leftovers, which is a 7. And so that's like a lot of people. That's more than half the people left. That's like almost everybody left. And so obviously getting rid of one person will be beneficial for like 4 of them, but it might not be for like 3 of them. So it's like really hard for like a group to come to a consensus at this point. But I don't know. I think that they might regret voting out Jasmine last week. Just like I feel like they regret voting out Indy the week. Because if they had voted out Terrence the week before this whole thing happened instead of Indy, it probably would have been Indy, Jasmine gone this week, and then probably Alyssa leaving this week. Like, it just would have been boom, boom, boom. But
so Bean in chat says Michael's being targeted for his comp wins more than anything else. I mean, I think when you get right down to it, that's exactly what he's being targeted for. And I think he is a pretty big threat, as far as comp wins, and for no reason whatsoever. We said it way back when, like, why is he winning comps? He doesn't even need to win. That's ridiculous. Like, he didn't need to win some of them, and now he's got, like, I know people are saying, like, Michael shouldn't have been playing the middle. He shouldn't have been playing the middle. He should have been playing the middle. Playing the middle is for Michael, that's a good thing to do. And if we hadn't had this whole split house thing, then it really would have been a good thing to do. Michael's biggest issue is he has good jury management, like with his goodbye messages and stuff, but inside the house, he just doesn't. He lacks the ability to really form like relationships that feel genuine. It's not that they're not. He's just a little bit awkward. I remember at the beginning of the season, I'm like, Michael is so smart and knows this game so well. Why is he just standing in the room as if, like, does he think he's invisible? People see him standing there and he's not saying anything, and it's a little bit awkward. Like, he's just like he's like sidestepping into the room, and then he just stands there, right? So like his social game's kind of weird. Also, so now he's got these comps that he shouldn't have won, and on top of that, sometimes he just sidesteps into a room and says nothing and stands there awkwardly for a while just listening. And so he doesn't really always have that back and forth. Like, it's weird.
Whenever he does that, it's always so funny to watch on the feeds because Michael's like really tall and you'll just see him like inch into a room and he's just like,
he stands like in the very back.
Brittany does it too.
Brittany does do it too. And then they
like
and then they like
plan?
slowly like inch their way into the conversation.
I hate when she's like, yeah, Brittany.
Exactly what it's talking.
Oh my gosh! As soon as you said that,
that's what Andy did a little bit, I think, in his game.
Yeah, but he at least was able to have so the way Andy did it. I know everybody's like, Andy, he was a rap player. Yeah, and he sure was, and it worked.
I loved how
he did it, knowing that that's what he would do it. Yeah, he would go into a room and he'd be like, "Oh, hey y'all, what are y'all doing? I just left my water bottle in here. What's going on?" And then he would plop right down on the bed, right? Like, right, and that's how he did it. As opposed to
agree. Yeah.
Like, just staring, like, what are y'all doing back there? It's weird. Like, I don't think Michael or Brittany had the worst social game. I just think
it froze.
It froze when she did do that, and it looked really funny. I was like,
"Oh no, I wasn't frozen. I was frozen.
I was just like,
you were frozen. No, I was like, oh, she's not blinking. Like,
no, you were literally like frozen for like probably 2 to 3 seconds, and I was like scared. And then all of a sudden, like, all of your movements.
At least neither of them are as bad.
Wait, was I talking while I was still frozen?
No,
you were just
no, I froze on purpose. I did this.
Well, yeah, but then it froze while you did that.
Again? Oh, like, that's just proof that God wanted me to keep going. God wanted me to stay frozen like that, so I could. It was lending itself to the authenticity of my impersonation of Michael entering the room.
At least neither of them are as bad as Brittany was last season. Whenever she was talking to a group in the back room, and then Xavier's like, "Oh, we were talking."
Oh,
he said that
I know
so
exactly what you're talking about. When she like walked into the room, and they were like, "We're talking," and she was like, "Oh, okay." It's just like.
Because I think she was talking about.
She like came in like super excited about like something really irrelevant too, and he was like, I
think it was talking. It was about her rap speech.
Yes. Oh my god, a mess.
Who was he talking to?
That is true. Joseph in chat made a good point. He says Michael's social game was behind the 8 ball. Oh wait, go back. Behind the 8 ball. We have to remember these people didn't want to do to do anything till noms were set in stone. It took him 3 or 4 days before he could form relationships.
True.
That is true. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't have relationships. I'm just saying he doesn't, and maybe in real life this isn't the case. Maybe it's the stress of constantly thinking strategy, but it seems like he lacks the ability to have, it's small talk, to have that banter back and forth with ease, the way that Joseph 25 attorney at law did. Joseph could
Right.
literally talk to anyone about anything
And Kyle,
and
I
make
hate
you
to say
feel
it, but
and
Kyle has it.
yes, Kyle, yes, the gift of gab. He has it, and that's true.
But no, I
That
agree.
is
Michael does not cultivate his individual, like, one-on-one relationships until they're going out of the house. Until they're leaving the house.
Yes.
He's like, this one single vote to keep you is gonna be me. And
And
just so
that's
you
a good
know.
thing. Like that's a good thing. Like that's what I'm saying. Like he understands the nuances of the game and the logic and the strategy. I haven't liked some of the things that he's done, and I think some of the things that he's done are unnecessary, like winning competitions that you don't need to win. But and Bean says Michael is naturally awkward. He is, and I don't even mind that. I love awkward people. I'm the most awkward, inept person. I fall down all the time for no apparent reason. I can trip over absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I can
And then
see
I
that.
laugh. I broke my finger in February falling off the curb in front of the Old Navy in Branson, Missouri. Just trying to point to my mom across the parking lot. I said, there she is, whoop, and fell right out into the middle of the street.
Wait,
Everybody
where
came running.
in Branson?
In Branson, yeah, at the Tanger Outlet malls, standing right there in front of the Old Navy, looking across to the Nike outlet store. I had lost my mom, and I said, "Look, there she is, right over there." And fell right off the curb into the middle of the street. Everyone came running. They're like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, my pinky's like pointing out in the wrong way." And so now my pinky doesn't really work correctly, and everything I do is fancy. So there's that. So I get awkward. I like awkward.
Yes.
It's just sometimes I'm like, maybe you should talk a little. But whatever. I did as far as like Jasmine going home, which was the original question on this tangent. I mean, 6 one way, half a dozen the other. Whatevs. I did want to say there was something somebody said in chat earlier that Alyssa. It was Jameson. Jameson said in chat earlier that Alyssa was saying, that she wanted to make Taylor cry and cry bad because of Joseph, like by talking about him, and I didn't see that, and that makes me like I hate stuff like that. That's not game.
I didn't see that.
That's just
either.
being a bitch. That's not game. You're just being a bitch. And yes, Ara says, when in doubt, pinky out. It's true. Even when I'm in not doubt, when I'm in certain, my pinky is out because it's like it doesn't work anymore. But yeah, like I just don't even like. Why would she do that?
She even asked Taylor on feeds. She was like, "How are you feeling?" And you didn't get to say goodbye to him. She's like gauging how hurt she is. Taylor's like, "Yeah, you know, it sucks, but you know, whatever." And now she's like, "Oh, I'm really gonna make sure you hurt." Okay, Alyssa, you freaking bitch, you dumb bitch.
I mean, that's just mean.
That is mean. I do appreciate the bitchiness, but that is a little mean. Is what I will say. Because I do like. Wait. Okay, I thought my computer froze. I do like bitchy players. I don't know like what to call them exactly.
But you like petty and catty and
right. Like I feel like there's no need for Alyssa to be like
girl, you haven't freaking been involved in anything. You are
like,
literally giving
really
information out so freely that you're not
like the pettiness is warranted sometimes in these games, and like I appreciate when people like I appreciate when people
like
are like
Turner doing all of the stuff with Jasmine's
right
muffins.
like
he was
that
being
is like
petty,
perfect
and that was
pettiness.
funny.
Yes, like that is good bitchy pettiness. But like wanting to just like make someone cry just to like make them feel shittier about themselves is like
When
not
they're
it
already
at
That's
like
all.
bullying,
already
actually.
down. That's
Right,
not.
like
That's mean.
that's not game.
Well,
It's
yeah, and Taylor
unnecessary.
was really upset. Like on Thursday when the houses rejoined,
Hmm.
at the end of the episode, and I'm like, why are you only giving us a minute and a half to see this, Julie? But that's all we got.
I know. I was
And-
like, are they even gonna like do this right now? I was like, they've like literally waited till like 57 to be like, all right, we're opening the back door now, and like they
Yeah.
didn't even open it all the way right away. I was like, what are they doing? I was like, I want to see this so bad, like
yeah,
driving me
I
nuts.
wanted to see it. Yeah, and but you could tell like when they were going around hugging, I think probably anybody who loves Taylor was like zeroed in like on her and trying to
I
like
was.
the body language
Yeah.
experts that we all have
Yeah.
become were like, look at her, her soul is crushed. You can tell by the way
She
her
actually
right
looked really
shoulder
happy.
Mhm.
Like
But
she was like
there
hugging
were-
everybody.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like her smile reached her eyes the way that
My
a
favorite was,
genuine smile does.
True.
But I'm
Mhm.
probably
My
reading
favorite
into
was Joseph physically gasping when Elizabeth like walked past him. I thought that was really funny. Like he was like, like
Wait,
just
who?
stuck like that. Monty.
Oh, you said Joseph. I was
Yeah, you
like,
said Joseph.
Oh,
and I was
did
like,
I?
wait.
That's might be when Monty saw Alyssa walk by. That was really funny.
I need to go back
But-
and watch that.
Yeah, I literally screenshotted it. And he was just like, it's really good.
So
but did you
let's,
guys
go ahead.
real quick before we move on, because this is just about like the motion of walking in. Did you guys see? Well, first of all, the whole outside eviction really quickly was awkward as hell. Watching Alyssa walk all the way through the balcony and all the way down the spiral staircase and then all the way across. I was like, girl,
Julie, just read it.
like this is a lot. But then having to see Joseph get up and walk through the house, and then
By
did you guys?
himself.
Yes. Did you peep when he saw Jasmine's picture black and white on the wall and he smirked?
No.
I thought that was so funny. I was like, oh, he just saw what I think he just saw. And like he just kept walking. I was like, he definitely knows Jasmine's out.
I was
And that
hoping that
made
he
him
would like
happy.
grab the lays and just like spread them everywhere and like do like a
Oh, that would've been
heart.
funny.
Like, oh, I need that.
Oh my gosh, not showmance obsessive like behavior. I'm
We
just
love
kidding.
showmances.
Look. Okay. I mean, I don't hate it, but generally speaking, I'm just like, man, I don't care.
He should have pulled her.
It is hard
he
to
should have
not
pulled
care.
a
I mean, I
Rachel.
did. Yeah, spelling something out with pretzels or with Lay's in this case. Yeah. Like something strategic,
Hey.
not necessarily a heart,
Like,
but
like KK Kyle.
for real. Right. So moving on, we we have a new HOH. So moving into this week, and I know everybody was like, well, I don't know if everybody was, but I know for myself, I was like kind of on pins and needles about who is going to win HOH. And dun dun dun, Turner won HOH, and there are some people that are like, well, maybe once he's back in the house, he's not really going to be. I know he said in the DR he was going to, switch sides and join up with this, Kyle's alliance that he formed in the backyard. And we're like, maybe, but that is not the case. He's definitely like full blown, no more leftovers because, well, he put up Brittany and Taylor for his nominations. How do we feel about that? Jameson, I'm going to look right now. Sorry.
I don't feel like
Go
they're his nominations. I feel like he's playing Kyle's game. And he's just further deepening himself in the fact that, hey, buddy, if Kyle and Alyssa go up on the block and there needs to be a renom, it's going to be you. So
I think that Turner is playing Kyle's puppet this week because when Turner first won HOH, I was like, oh, so like I'm assuming all of the backyard people will be safe this week. But then as I woke up in the morning, I was reading through the updates and I was like, okay, so it seems like Terrence and Alyssa, because they suck at comps, which I thought was like not the best move in my opinion, because I'm like, why would you want to evict people who are bad at comps when you have people who are good at them still in the game? Michael, Kyle, whoever. But Terrence just won 2 comps, so I don't really know how you could say he's horrible at them if he just won 2. But then as the day goes on, you see Kyle really get in Turner's ear, and that's when Kyle or Turner flips his noms to Brittany Taylor. And it really goes to show that like Turner isn't doing what he initially wanted to do at all. And he's kind of just listening to other people. One thing I will say too is that I have been saying since the jump, the Pound has been loyal to the Pound and not the damn leftovers. And look at what is happening tonight, or not tonight, this week. I feel like this is what I always kind of saw coming, was those guys were going to stick together, and that Taylor, Brittany, Michael were always their numbers, and that they were going to eventually just all stick together. So like in retrospect, I'm kind of glad Joseph isn't there, because Joseph was a part of the Pound, and now the Pound is weaker because there's only 3 of them. But I am nervous for the Pound just like running it to the end, because that's not what I want to see in the slightest. And now this week I feel like Turner's whole like thing has been like pound to the end, and like that's how they're really trying to bring Monty over, and it's just like not it. I don't like it.
And yeah, and Monty. So the plan, I guess, was they went in and they're telling everybody, oh, well, all of this happened because Joseph is the one who spilled everything about the leftovers, right? And then so when Monty had a conversation with Turner about it, then not just that, but a lot of things, but specifically putting all the blame on Joseph. Later, Monty went back and talked to Taylor, and he was like, I don't believe any of that for a second. So I was like, I'm anxious to like truly hear what some of Monty's thoughts are, because I'm like, so you're up there and you're telling, X, Y, and Z, all of these people like this, and this, but then you're down here and you're like, don't believe it for a second. But in the same breath, he's also like, yeah, we'll get rid of Michael, which, as you guys, talked about already, like that's, Pound. Michael was not in the Pound, so obviously he would have been targeted first. So I'm like, what is Monty really thinking though? Because I don't want to be like thinking he's not on board with this, or he is on board with this, because Turner got me bamboozled last week, because I was thinking there's no way he's going to turn on Joseph, and then he did. Not that it would have mattered. It made my heart hurt for Joseph, because it just is what it is. But yeah, I do agree. Like they are Kyle's moves, but and to be fair, even when Turner was HOH last time, none of the moves made were his moves, right? I don't know. Zach. So how is Zach asleep or what? Oh my gosh. No, he's not.
God, he passed out.
No, I was getting confused. I was trying to solve this little puzzle.
He's got narcolepsy. That's awful. So how everybody's like, Monty's a threat. We got to get rid of him. He's like a huge threat.
Is he?
Exactly. That's what I was going to ask you about. I want to hear your thoughts on that, because technically he's on the same level as Alyssa.
Who?
No, Monty's
Monty.
higher.
You think Monty and Alyssa are the same threat level?
I'm saying, as far as what have they done in the game that is
Monty's
making them
won
say,
in HOH. Alyssa has won jack shit. And Monty
Okay,
is
he
very
is-
physically
he's-
fit.
Are you
And has been in
sure
the
that you're
majority
an
the whole
Alyssa stan?
time.
Alyssa had a
I
racist
am an Alyssa
man
stan.
defend her.
he's this far ahead. He's this far
I
ahead.
think miles ahead.
I'm saying, okay, Miles, whatever. I don't think he's the threat. That they think that he is. I understand why they think that he is because of all the things that Nick just said. Honestly, because of all the things Nick just said. But at the same time, I'm like, literally, this person, like Monty, every single thing everyone says to him, he's like, okay, cool. Yes, I like that. I like that. And then that's what he does. But he's not like, is he holding back? What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, like I think he is holding back. No, he's not holding back. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it,
Good
you know
thoughts.
whose game that he's playing?
Who?
An Xavier game.
This is okay. Thank you, because that's kind of where I wanted to go with that. Is like,
Points for
is
maybe
he
made there,
really?
Zach. I think that's a valid point.
Mhm.
Xavier did not.
Yeah.
Let me go back. Let me see when
No
Xavier.
Xavier-
ruffling feathers. Going with
Yes.
the flow.
In the majority of the whole
putting-
time,
Mhm.
winning subtle comps here and there. Like that's how I
Only
see Monty
here,
playing.
not and there. Only here, no and there.
Sorry. Yeah, that's how I see Monty playing right now. Good comparison, Zach.
mean,
Xavier
he's
only
just-
won one competition or one HOH in the pre-jury.
Mm-hmm.
He won an HOH,
Mhm.
and then he didn't win a veto until like week 7. And Monty won a one HOH in the pre-jury.
Mhm.
Yeah. They're about like the
And they're
same
constantly
as
like,
of right now.
he's like, he's a big threat. He's a huge threat. And in the end game, and I'm like, he's not really. Is he involved in a lot of alliances? 100%, because they view him as likable, as strong, a physical asset, and all of these, positive things for in the game. But is he really proving those things? Not really. They're just basing it just solely on his physicality. Plus, he's likable. And
Mhm.
And
I'm just like,
who's saying that he's a threat?
everybody. Yeah,
Oh.
see, Bean says
Jasmine.
Alyssa has more social capital than Monty, which balances with his comp win.
Social
Right,
capital.
Monty
I
is
think you
on
mean
the
her
outside
ability
of.
to have sex with one person, and
Yeah, I don't think Alyssa has social capital. I think she's
Well, before this, she had a fantastic relationship with Brittany without a 10-second contract. That's only with Kyle, but
I
yes,
mean,
she really
She
did.
did. She did.
I don't think,
but I don't think Brittany.
as far as
I don't.
social capital, she didn't really have, like, yes, there were people who wanted her out, and Kyle was like, no, never. I mean, maybe, but not now. That's what he
I
said.
think, in my opinion, Alyssa can be taken out whenever because she's not going
And
to win
that's
anything.
what they think about her. That's what they think about her. Monty, they're like, we got to get him out right now. And I'm like, okay.
I'm getting nervous watching the game that Monty's going to win out, honestly. So like,
well, I do think that might happen. I'm not. Look, I am. Let me try to clarify. I am not saying that I don't think Monty is capable of all of those things based on some of the things that Nick said, and that's probably what is being based on. Everyone else, like whether it's on Twitter or in the house or whatever, anybody that says it, I do think it's based in those same things. But at the same time, I'm like, this Joker hadn't done squat all game. Really?
She kind of really hasn't. And I like, so Bean is asking, how did Alyssa make it to final 8 with no comp wins, then social capital? And I don't think it's social capital. I think it's Kyle capital. I think she has Kyle by the actual balls, who is willing to just do whatever he has to do to save her. And that's kind of what keeps happening. He threw the leftovers under the bus last week. The week before that, he won the veto and didn't use it. Like he's Kyle is protecting her. I don't think that Alyssa's really. And this is so bad because I'm an Alyssa.
I don't think she's.
Yeah,
No, I
but
don't
I'm
think she's
saying
doing
she's
it
not doing
intentionally.
I don't think so.
Like it's not an intentional. I
One
hesitate to call it
my
capital
friend said to me,
because of
yeah,
that. It's not
yeah.
intentional.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say, Bean. I'm not trying to say like anything other than that. Like Alyssa's not intentionally making bonds and relationships to stay in the house at all, in my
Right.
opinion.
Is she likable within the house?
No.
Sure. Within the house. I
No.
didn't say in the real world. Shut up, Zach. You don't think that people within the house like her? They want her out, but they don't dislike her. Do you think that they do, Zach? Or are you just being facetious?
A little bit. I think people are just like, oh, yeah, she's there.
Well, yeah, but I don't.
And they're not. I don't
think
think I don't think people like her. I just think people aren't just actively like wanting her out, which isn't a bad or good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Okay,
But
Bean says I agree.
Okay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think that like people don't want Alyssa out because she's useless. Like that's why I feel like she's lasted this long. Mm-hmm. Like I think that they need to, if they want to like do something like that, get rid of Kyle. If you get rid of Kyle, Alyssa is literally just there. Like she's not gonna do anything. Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Like,
well, and at some point somebody's gonna look at her and go, I can take this to the end. At some point that's going to happen. But here's the thing. So Bean says, I agree that a lot of Alyssa's social capital comes through Kyle. That's still a social bond. She's now close to every member of the after party. I mean,
close.
I don't. Here's
Terrence is obsessed with her for whatever reason, and so is
that is true.
Even in the pre-jury, he was praising her and Kyle being, oh, she's such a social
and then
thing, and then Taylor's
crap about Taylor.
I'm not going to say it because I don't want to clip that out. But yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about, Zach. I completely agree. Yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily want to call like in pertaining to Alyssa. I don't know if I want to call it social capital or social game. I
feel like it's giving her too much credit, Bean. That's what
I think she's just falling into a good spot.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that she happened to link up with Kyle, and they're a block, just because they wouldn't reach out to her if she wasn't connected to Kyle. If that wasn't there, which is something that, yes, they understand they have to like each other to do that, but I don't think it's the fact that she wasn't intentional about starting a showmance with Kyle in order to gain social capital, because there's a difference between doing that for strategy reasons and doing that just because you're wanting to have sex in the house or can't keep your pants on.
Queen.
Right. Well, Tyler said, well, Alyssa does call it her social game, like she believes she's doing things intentionally. Right. But just like I tell everybody else, just because you believe something does not make it a fact. I mean,
like I was saying, she is like Pilar.
Yeah.
Once Kevin left, she was just there.
Oh my God, Kyle's mom is back in the chat.
Yes, and let me tell you something for my haters that are like freaking messaging Barrett. Like Roxy is so mean, saying those things about Kyle when his mom is in the chat. Listen, you freaking idiot. It's not Kyle's mom, okay? It's somebody making fun of Kyle, okay? And also, to be clear,
why are y'all defending a racist?
I don't care if Kyle's mom is in the chat. I would still say it. Your son's a trash bag. Trumpy. Whatever. But hey,
for context, someone messaged Barrett being concerned of why Roxy was talking about Kyle's mom like that in our previous episode.
Talking
But
about
it's
Kyle when Kyle's mom
clearly
was in the
not
chat.
Kyle's mom. In the
Obviously,
chat.
it's not Kyle's real mom, and even if it was, so I did not say anything untruthful about him.
These
So,
aren't edited.
Suck it.
Your son's a
Suck it.
racist. Sorry to break it to you. Also, I want to point out, Alyssa almost went home week 4. So
I mean,
She almost
I'll
went
put it
home
out.
the first freaking week if it wasn't for Paloma.
She did. Alyssa's almost got home a lot of times. I keep saying that. So I always like to root for the person that I call like the cockroach of the season, and they're like the person who is like barely survives all the time. And I feel like this season we have her and Taylor, where they're like they're
I would
constantly
not put them in the same category
Well,
at all.
they're surviving for different ways. Totally
Yeah.
right.
Taylor is
had to fight.
surviving.
Yeah, Taylor had
Alyssa
to
is
fight.
on Kyle's asshole. Like her
Yes.
finger is in it.
You are
and
correct.
being dragged.
But what all I'm saying is that they have both been not fighting. They have both been almost out of the house many times now, and they're both still there. That's what I'm trying to say.
Don't compare them.
and
I'm not putting them in the same category like that. I'm
Yeah.
just saying they've both almost been taken out multiple times, so they have like the cockroach storyline, as I like to call it.
No.
That's what I like to call that.
No.
I can see
Alyssa
it,
is
but
just a cock chaser, not a cockroach.
That was good, Casey. Wow.
I like it.
But like, get it, girl. Get some. Love that for you. But like, at least play the game. At least get some information out of this man. Why you got to give it all up? You know.
I'm just
Don't gotta
seeing
give it
her
all.
getting to the
It's give and
end,
take.
and it's going to be another a Liz
can't.
final speech.
One of my friends said to me yesterday, he was like, can you imagine what Alyssa's final 2 speech would be like? And I was like, honestly, no, but like I want to see it.
I would like to
really
see it
freaking bad.
too. It's like all my friends went out one by one, and I'm the only one here.
I was in
And
the
I
girls,
made it
girls.
It's
I made
giving
it all the
it's,
way.
it's giving Liz or Holly vibes.
What if she's sitting next to Taylor? Like, what do you think? She's like, you know, I started this game out being nice to everyone, unlike Taylor.
Oh my gosh.
I just want her to show her whole fucking ass. And then
I
at the
think
end,
it
be
would
like,
be
Mom, Dad, I
really
hope you're
funny.
proud of me.
And then she'd be like, I aligned myself with a racist.
No,
Just
but
to get to
she
the top.
votes and she's like, Happy birthday, Mom. Did you hear about my 10 seconds? I ain't a Big Brother boyfriend.
Exactly.
No,
Bean
it
says
is.
almost doesn't count. Almost pregnant is not pregnant. Almost does not count. And that's true. I made that point earlier in the season when somebody was like, well, I mean, it's like a little bit racist. No, you're not a little bit anything. You either are or you aren't. And Kyle is. So
Not
see, the
someone saying
same
this
is
is the
applicable
least
here.
racist
You
season.
can't Hugh, and he was like, oh, it seems like it's been so long. It's been a week since we streamed. I don't know what you were talking about. And also, hey Jenna in chat. Hey Jen. I like what?
I hope Hugh is being facetious.
I'm
so too.
assuming. Oh my gosh, Jameson, you're killing me. You're killing me.
I think
Lord
the
help.
least
Lord
the
help.
least racist season of Big Brother.
I don't want to discuss that. Because
23.
It's
17?
giving Mickey saying he's the least
Yeah,
racist
23.
person he knows.
Yeah, he doesn't
Stop.
know very many people apparently.
Kyle is the least.
And if it's the
racist person he
least
knows.
racist, if you say it's the least racist person I know, so essentially you're telling me is you know a lot of racist, and this
Like,
and that's
really
the
racist
least of
people.
them. So
'Cause
not
if
making
you're
me feel any better.
racist and you're the least racist person you know, honey.
Honestly, can a pregnant woman play Big Brother?
No.
I don't see why
Well,
she
I mean,
couldn't.
technically Bailey did.
I don't think they would cast a pregnant woman.
Roxy!
But
I mean, no, I'm
Bailey.
serious. Like, I mean,
You
technically
are.
she did.
I didn't even think of that, but you're right. Like,
Technically, she did. Like, you can't help it. Like, if somebody were to get pregnant in the house, what do? You like, what do? You play. Because, I mean, of the four of us, I feel like I can safely say, I mean, not 100% because I don't really know Casey like that, but I think I can safely say I'm the only person who has been pregnant multiple times. I have multiple children. Okay. So,
yeah.
What are you
with
talking
that
about? Casey
knowledge,
has 20 kids.
Yeah,
oh, I
they're
didn't
all
know. My apologies. With that knowledge, I do happen to know that you are still allowed to do all kinds of things while pregnant, unless you are like high risk in any sort of fashion. I mean, after a certain time period, like you're not supposed to be flying on planes and stuff like that. But early on, it's fine. So if you're just barely pregnant, just a little bit, right? I just said that just for being.
jump
Just
up on that
almost
wall.
But I don't know that they would cast you knowing that going in, but like I think if you were in there and you found out after you were in there, it's fine because technically Bailey did. That's all I'm saying. Like I didn't mean that to be ugly. I was like
I didn't
really
think it was
being
ugly.
genuine.
I just thought it was funny
No.
because I didn't even think of that. I didn't
Oh,
think it was
okay.
ugly at all.
Dude, Jameson, I think
So
someone
Beans-
in Brazil gave birth in the Big Brother house.
Yes,
I'm not
you are
sure.
right.
I'm
Really?
just imagining
Good.
No,
Rachel
that
Riley
did
giving birth in the
happen.
Big Brother house.
Well,
Rachel wasn't
Bean
too
says,
all-stars pregnant, but
Honestly,
but they wouldn't
like,
let her.
if they would let,
yeah.
I mean, they let Jasmine sit out a bunch of competitions. I mean, if a pregnant woman wants to, I don't
But I think
see
it's
like.
just some sort of a risk that I'm sure like wouldn't
I'm
be
sure
covered.
wouldn't she have like so Roxy, don't you have to go to like doctor's appointments and stuff like that when you're pregnant?
Well, I mean,
I'm
in the
assuming
beginning, it's just like you go and you take your urine test and they check to see if you're pregnant, check your protein levels, do a little blood work, and then they go, yeah, you're pregnant, and then you just take your multivitamins, and then you go back and see them in another month. I mean, there's really not much to it in the beginning, and towards the end, you got to go like every single week and things
Yeah,
like
if
that.
Christmas can
But
cast a vote from the hospital bed, then I'm pretty sure that they could make a small little pregnancy.
I
visit.
honestly think the reason Rachel wasn't able to do that as well is because of COVID, maybe.
yeah, Jesse T's like says, I feel like the stress of the game isn't good for someone pregnant. Right, that's true. I don't think.
Mhm.
Listen, I don't think that they would cast somebody who like knowingly were pregnant. But I think if they get pregnant inside of the house, like, what do you do? Like, did they leave and just don't
Play
tell
it
why?
out.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it is true, but
They're
in
gonna
the same
handle it
token,
like whenever Evil Dick got AIDS, just not say anything.
there are people that have like jobs that are so demanding physically who still do those things, high stress jobs who still do those things while pregnant. I personally wouldn't do it because that is my excuse to be like, y'all, I'm eating for two. I'm growing an entire human being over here. It's a lot of work. I need to take a nap, eat some ice cream. Like, I would take my opportunity. I'm not doing all of that. I would be like, yo, I'm taking a nap. Okay. So I personally wouldn't do it, but I think if you're in the house, what are they going to do? I guess
Imagine
like disqualify you. I don't know.
Imagine a
I
pregnant
don't
woman
know.
on slop.
Right. But Bean says, imagine lawsuits if a baby is lost. Well, that technically also
True.
has occurred, but hey, slop is nutritionally sound. That's why they give it to them.
Right.
Right. It's disgusting.
A
But
pregnant
It's
woman
not eggs
sleeping
or
on a
watermelon.
pool.
I don't even really
Mm.
honestly know why we're discussing it because it was a comment that
Where did
was
this
made
come
that wasn't even real. No one is pregnant. Why are we even talking about it? Curse my ADD. Yes, Jen, thank you. I do grow awesome kids. That is a hashtag I've used for ages. I grow awesome kids.
Is it Aurora
Hashtag I
or
grew awesome
Ara?
kids. Aura.
Ara, yeah.
Okay.
Sarah doesn't know how the challenge works. Sarah can go live under the rock because she is the
What?
worst.
I
Okay.
agree.
Wait, what did Jasmine say to Julie? She's like, Julie, you look better than a sheet of cornbread.
Oh, you look
Oh
better
my
than a
god.
crisp apple pie.
No, she said you look better than a fresh sheet of cornbread, or somebody said cornmeal, something like that.
It was cornbread, but
I
listen,
loved that Julie brought up her
It's
birthday
weird.
month thing, and she was like, "I'm a Leo."
Oh my God.
I'm a Leo. What do you expect?
You
Now
know
tell me
what?
3 things that you love about me, Julie. Right now, and then I'm
Okay.
going to critique them.
As a Leo
She's
myself,
like, I love that you're gone from the house.
as a Leo myself, I get it, and I stand behind Jasmine as far as the Leo and birthday situation because
God,
I'm a crackhead.
Maybe Jasmine
I
is
mean,
Casey's girl.
I
and
really-
not Roxy's girl.
But here's the thing:
Yeah.
if Jasmine would have just acted better, I think she's just influenced so easily, and she doesn't have a mind of her own because she hasn't really had to.
She's
do
giving
think-
pick me energy.
Not,
Yeah,
not
that
pick me
too.
energy. I do think Jasmine did have a very like classy exit. Like she was very.
hmm And I like the outfit that she chose. I know she was like debating between 2 different ones, and that was the one that I definitely voted for. She didn't hear me, but I voted for it.
Also, she
I said,
skipped
"Oh
and
yeah,
hopped
pick that
to
one."
Julie. Her leg was never better, apparently.
Well, she
Yeah.
was playing it up.
All she did was
playing it
needed to
up.
see God, aka Julie.
Jameson says, I'm a Leo too, and I don't act like that. And then Jenna says, no one acts like that but her, Jameson. My brother's a Leo, and my sister-in-law, and my aunt. A lot of people in my family are Leos, and none of them do that.
I'm a
Some
Leo,
people just
and
like to do it.
I'm a princess, so I get it. Jasmine.
Well,
Like I got a manicure. I got 2 of them because it's my birthday month, so I got them redone.
happy birthday. When's your actual birthday?
Well, it's gone now. It was July 29th.
Okay.
So it was just
You're
literally
just
a month ago.
right at the beginning of the Leo.
I
Yeah.
am
Still your birthday month, though,
Yeah.
technically.
I'm an earth sign, so I am grounded in reality. And the reality is I'm glad that Jasmine's gone.
I'm a fire sign, so I like to fight.
Is that's gonna be your opening line when you walk in the house?
Yes, that's my drag race.
Hi, I'm
opening line.
Nick. I'm a
Nick.
fire sign, so I like to fight. I'm
so
a
I will
Libra.
fight.
Kristen.
Does it surprise you that I'm a Libra?
I don't
I mean,
really know
we are the
anything
best.
about any
We're the best
signs other
sign.
than mine.
So
Okay, well, I mean,
Definitely
I
the best.
Aren't
share
they
a
the
sign
ones
with
the multiple
Rennie.
personalities?
Oh,
Yes.
that's iconic, Casey.
It really
and all
is.
of them are great. Who do
And
you share it
Shima-
with?
Okay, so I share a birthday with Rennie from BB10, and then Shima was born a day before. She's born like the 28th. So kind of share a birthday with her.
Robbed.
So these are the fellow Leos that are in the Jasmine category.
Yeah, and which proves Jasmine's not really a Leo. It's not even her
Yeah.
She's
birthday.
really
The
closer to the
lie.
cusp of being whatever is after the Leo. I don't know what that is, but
Yeah.
she's
Um.
like by 3 days.
So let's talk about Big Brother.
Yes.
So Turner's at the HOH, right? He nominates Taylor and Brittany after he told literally everybody in the entire house they were not his target, and he's going after
Mhm.
whomever. Like everybody, oh yeah, you're safe with me. Like you're safe with me. Fire, bet, cool, whatever. All the things that he says, all of the Turnerisms. Buy my rugs. So that happened, and then he goes and he nominates Taylor and Brittany, and Michael's like, he's like, what? And so then when he went up there, well, Brittany lost her ever loving mind, but she had to hypnotize herself back to reality. And then Michael, he went. Listen, so far it's not worked, but anyway, Michael went up to have a talk with Turner. Like, what the heck? At first, he sidled into the room, like,
Right.
and then he just stood there for a while. And then he said, "Hey, I need to talk to you." And Turner's like, "Oh God, you scared me. I didn't see you. Just kidding, I did. I saw you standing there for 5 minutes for no reason." And so then they talked, and Michael really honestly didn't feel very confident about what he was told, because it was basically like, "Oh yeah, like these are just pawns, and you like nobody's my target, like of that, blah blah blah," and I don't know, he's just done a lot of talking, but Michael was just like, "Okay, cool," but you could tell he was like not believing that. And like then Turner told Monty, like, Michael's the target, and Monty was like, "Okay, but what if he wins? What if he wins veto and pulls one of them down?" I mean, I think they're speculating that it would be Brittany, although Michael has said that it would be Taylor possibly. And we'll talk about that in just 1 second. But so Monty's like, "So who would go up in the place?" And Turner goes, "Oh, it doesn't even matter." Like hell, it doesn't matter. Yes, it does. Because if somebody tells you it doesn't matter, it's you. You will be the replacement. Know that. Which I think maybe kind of why Monty's like telling Taylor, "Yeah, I don't believe any of that." So that's why I want to hear what Monty has to say. Like, for real, for real. Can I get like a Monty camera talk? He would never, but can I?
Yeah, he would never.
Like, what do you really
Instead,
think?
we get Kyle camera talks constantly.
I know, telling us he wants to make love to us. The hell you didn't know? I want to
Girl,
make love
I
to
don't.
you,
I'm
America.
good.
I don't have 10 seconds to spare, Kyle. Get out of here.
Right? You can't
I'm
even
busy.
last more than 10 seconds with just one person. You're
Gina
gonna.
Marie's
Yeah,
a
and
Leo
I don't
too.
even have 0 flotation devices around me. Like, it's not happening. Get real.
Gina Marie's a Leo
Weirdo.
too.
Who?
Gina Marie.
She's a Leo.
Oh my god.
Iconic.
Not
Gross.
that.
Okay, watching Gina Marie in the show without knowing how it actually went, I really liked her.
Also, Nick's favorite boy, Jason Roy, is a Leo too.
Who? So
Definitely not
so
my
anyway.
boy.
So anyway. First of all, what did you guys think about the nominations? Were you like, what the heck is he doing? Or were you like, I knew he had turned to the dark side for good?
Yeah. I was just like, Turner, just when I almost had complete faith in you after your very, very rocky preseason shenanigans and your sister calling you out, I was like, he's bounced back. His post shower, he needs another shower. That's what he did. That's what he needs. He spent so much time outside getting dirty and getting nasty. He needs to go take a shower, reassess, and then take down Taylor and put up. Who could he put up?
He could put up Alyssa or Terrence or Kyle.
Would he have the votes?
Kyle? I don't know.
Yeah.
But Tyler says, Tyler in chat says, I knew he turned because he said it in his DR. I know, but I still was hoping. I know it was dumb of me to hope, but I do it anyway, even when I know in my brain that I shouldn't. But I was hoping that he would go back in the house and reunite and then come to his senses, and he didn't. He did not.
Well, yeah, and I don't ever trust the DRs. Everyone always says something like, maybe I should vote out my shellmance. That would probably better my game.
Well,
yeah, but I feel like the Turners are pretty authentic.
Yeah, but
Turner's DR about like flipping on the leftovers was, I took that as like, oh, like he's done with them. And then after he won the HOH and the feeds came back on and he was telling people that he was going to put up Alyssa and Terrence, and I was like, you literally said the opposite like 2 days ago. So like, are you easily like persuaded? Like, I don't understand. Like, where, if I can't tell where your real head is at through like DRs, it's like, You're
which
probably
is
not
one thing that
playing
bothers
well. I don't
me.
know.
Like, it bothers
Yeah.
me about production because I feel
Well,
like
yeah.
in the earlier seasons we got way more of, oh, okay, so these are the things that are going on, but these are the
Mhm.
things that they are really thinking. I feel like we get so much less of that now, and so we spend a lot more time going, but wait. But I do feel like Turners are pretty authentic. And
Nothing will
I
never
just
be
listen.
as authentic
I
as
don't like his
Charles.
nominations. Do I
I
think
think
they're good for his game though? What do you think?
No.
I think they're good for Kyle's
Um,
game.
Yeah,
I
I
don't,
think
Yeah.
I think first chance people get from his little after party, whatever, he'll be an afterthought because they're gonna send him out first.
That was good, Zach.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's true. Natalie, yes, I'm well aware of that. Natalie says they already said it will be Taylor or Michael going this week. Yeah, I know. I don't really know what you're referring to there.
but Turner could
Like,
switch again if he feels like more like if he feels like Monty, Taylor, Brittany, like those three are after him. I feel like he could switch last minute, and then
I'm
the
gonna
only
shake his
people who
head
would
and just be
be
like, "What are you doing?"
because if he took out Kyle, who's gonna be mad? Alyssa,
Yeah.
literally.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
literally, and
If you tell Terrence he's going up, he's gonna throw Kyle under so fast, and you'll be
Mhm.
fine.
yeah,
with
and
him.
that was
That's
another thing. So if well, first of all, spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you guys who was picked to play in the veto, right? Everybody except for Terrence and Kyle, and Terrence will be hosting the game. So literally, Kyle will be sitting on the sidelines. He's
good.
not involved at all, and that makes me extremely happy and does give me a little modicum of hope that maybe we can get somebody
Taylor.
else up on the block that I'd rather see go home. It's just that the reality is that if any of them come off the block via Michael winning a veto, Monty's going to be the replacement. Unless they can get to him somehow, I don't think that there's any changing Turner's mind. Although Michael did discuss with Brittany, like, hey, do you think moving forward, like, if I can win the veto, if I do this, like all of these what if scenarios as he does, Michael in all over the house. He was like, do I need to go and spill about Kyle and his, white alliance plans that he's
Mhm.
made? Because that is something that he has, that he and Brittany, I know people listen. And again, this is one of the things that makes me mad about Twitter. People are like, oh, now you're going to say something. To be fair, when he was playing the middle, he was holding that in his pocket, and I know that he had discussed saying it before the split last week. When are we going to use this information, and how are we going to use it? He was not on board with it, but people are all like, "Oh, so now it's convenient." I didn't like that he went along with it to his face either, because I didn't like that. Like, I wanted him to be like, "What's wrong with you saying stuff like that, you idiot?" And he didn't. But I'm trying to take my emotion out of it. I'm not good at it. But anyway, so, potentially if Michael wins the veto, and God knows he's good at it, which means he's probably not going to, and therefore going to go home this week. But just pretending, let's pretend like he does. What's he? Is he going to go and tell? Is that how he's going
I
to get
think
Kyle up on the block? Is this a
I think
possibility?
so.
If
I
so,
think it is.
speak
Yeah,
it.
I think it is.
Like,
I think
come on.
Michael wins veto. I think he's going to go up to Turner. Turner's going to expect the veto to be used on Brittany and put up like Terrence or something. Like, Terrence, you're safe. But I think what's really going to shock him is that Michael's going to be like, no, I'm actually going to use the veto on Taylor. And so those are two of Turner's targets, Michael or Taylor. And that's when he's going to have to come up with a new target. And Michael needs to be like, yo, Kyle, you don't want to be with him, So hopefully that works out.
Yeah, and Also, it's just a simple fact that I don't think that Turner will want to waste his week on Brittany.
Do you think he would renom Monty?
Yeah.
No.
Because if we're thinking about the outsiders and the inside, yeah, because if he's saying, it could be between Kyle and Monty and both of them just like going at each other to see who the renom will be, because I don't think that he would renom Terrence or Alyssa. Like at this point, he's already taking a shot at the leftovers, so he's going to take his shot.
Mm-hmm. It would be really dumb, in my opinion, for him to nominate Alyssa or Terrence in a way, because he's taken the shot. And now if he instead, so like if Michael wins veto, pulls Taylor down or pulls Brittany down, and now all of a sudden Turner's like, I was just, kidding. We were going to backdoor Terrence this whole time. It's like, no, you weren't. Like, the leftovers were like, I feel like they wouldn't buy that. And now the next week, now Turner's in some really hot water because he can't play HOH. So,
and we still
I do
freaking
agree with
Terrence
that.
there. He's going to get to the end.
Mm-hmm. So I do agree
Right,
that I
and-
think that he's taken the shot, and it's kind of like too late to backtrack. But Turner clearly is very like persuaded all the time. I feel like I said earlier, he woke up or he won the HOH and he was like, I'm gonna put up Alyssa and Terrence. And then the next morning he woke up and he was like, just kidding, I'm gonna do this instead. And it was like, you just like, how do you flip? Like that's so like, I would never be able to play with someone like him. He'd have to go immediately.
It would be
because
really.
no.
It would be. Yeah, it'd be really hard. Very difficult. Chat says, it's too late to reveal Kyle's all white alliance. While he's desperate because nobody's going to want to believe it, but Turner believes literally everything. So
yeah,
it depends on. I mean, he may not believe Michael because there may be. It depends on who could substantiate it, which is really honestly only Brittany. Like, I mean, Alyssa technically could substantiate it because Kyle definitely threw that at her too, but she's so stupid she probably didn't hear it. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Veto's happening today. We have no idea when or outcomes or anything like that at this point. But we'll see. Listen, last week threw me for such a loop. The lack of feeds kind of pulled me out of the game a little bit. On top of that, I was sick. On top of the already, like, I had a stomach virus on top of the already being sick with all of the regular appointments and stuff I keep having to go to. And so just all of that and like the feeds being intermittent and down and just even when it was on, it was gross. It just kind of like just pulled me out of everything. And I'm just trying to,
I kind of had the same reaction last week with all of it. I was like, I just don't want to watch this. And so I didn't. Like, I was just like, I don't want to really watch any of this right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, even when I would turn it on, I'd be like, there they
the
are.
one time I turned on, the one time I turned on the feeds, like, and really wanted to watch them was when they were telling Jasmine she was leaving. But other than that, I was like, I don't really want to watch, because they literally wouldn't show the backyard, and the backyard, in my opinion, was the more.
That's what I wanted to see.
Stuff.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see because we knew Kyle had spilled all the leftover stuff. I mean, we got like not even 10 second. We got like a 2-second clip of the backyard,
and everyone was like literally analyzing the whole thing, being like, Joseph's kind of smiled kind of like this towards Alyssa, so maybe they're good now. Like, really, it was
like Joseph needs to start fucking Alyssa. Like, that's
I was like, y'all are too much.
When in reality, I mean, which we all know the only reason why they weren't showing the backyard that much, which is wasn't enough to save anyone, which was the wall yeller. So
You know what?
Well, so
I,
they
I like the
say.
wall yellers. I don't really care that feeds are down. Go tell them how nasty Kyle is. That's
well,
what
no, I
care
wanted them
about.
to,
I
but I just think it wasn't
disagree.
enough. I mean, it's
No.
If you're
2022.
gonna go yell
Come
at
on, y'all need
you better
y'all
yell
need to
in the
have a
right
drone
things. Yup.
with like
No.
a speaker.
I
No.
totally
Kyle
disagree.
Kyle
I'm
Because
is a
100% not on
racist.
board. Look,
Me too,
y'all only
Roxy.
agree if it's going to be said about somebody that y'all don't like. But if it's said about anybody, if somebody wanted to wall
If someone
yell or
went there
drone
and
about
yeah,
Taylor or anybody that you stand or
all of a
like,
sudden everyone would hate it.
the world
No,
is
my thing
over.
is, as
No.
long as it is true, I do not care.
But what they were saying wasn't true. Saying that Kyle was a liar isn't true, in my opinion. That's not true because Kyle wasn't lying about the leftovers. So that wasn't
Right.
Actually, they
Which
would have
was
like Kyle
was
and
just
Nicola
saying- I
are
was just
playing
saying
everybody
that-
like they did with Cody and Nicole.
Yeah,
right.
I
If you
think
do
that
that,
I think that
fine. I guess I don't know.
they should have just said that Kyle's a racist. I didn't know. Like,
No,
yeah.
see, that would have been true. They could have yelled that.
Right.
They could have yelled that. But at the
But
same
my thing
time,
is that
Or like Kyle's
Big
don't-
Brother
all
I
is.
violence or something like that.
I
I
just
mean, and
don't like
Kyle
it
has
because
been lying,
to
so it's
me,
technically not a lie.
He lied to
but he
Joseph
wasn't
and
lying about
Turner.
the leftovers.
Well,
So
he
like
lied to
Well, how do
Joseph
you
and
know they were
Turner
saying
about
that?
exposing it.
because
could've
they
been
were
like-
trying to get Terrence to use the veto. That's why they went and wall yelled after Terrence won the veto.
They were just like, Kyle is lying.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they may have meant Kyle is lying about the fact that
They said that because they wanted Terrence to think he was lying about the leftovers,
Yep.
and they wanted him to use the veto to put Kyle up and get Kyle out. That's exactly what happened, and I was not here for it because to me, I'm sorry, I'm going off about this for a second. To
Do
me,
it.
Big Brother is like the ultimate social experiment because you're cut off from society completely. You are in this house, you are locked away from everybody. No one is allowed to talk to you for however many days you're in there. Don't do this because people will get the karma that they deserve when they exit that house and the show is over. But don't try and impact the game because that's when I get pissed off because let the game play out how it's going to play out. Production already interferes or does whatever the hell they want to do. We don't need fans now running over and yelling things that just doesn't help, in my opinion. Nothing changed that week at all, except we didn't have feeds for 14 hours, and I had to instead.
And so we only got the
watch
edited
the stupid
version of it.
Yes. So I'm like, no, don't go wall yell. It does nothing. Even Devon, who was on the show, said, don't go and wall yell. Listen to Devon. She is
Well,
America's
stamped and
favorite.
approved then. Devon said it. It's done.
all of the
She is the
fans
end
go
all be
wall
all.
yell now.
No.
Honestly, like I'm gonna start, getting my flight ready for next season.
Yeah, let's go wall yell.
No,
Let's
I
cause
mean,
chaos.
look, some people
let's go get a drone, Zach.
some people in chat are like, well, but he is a liar, and some people, are like, well, he is a racist. I mean, true. Whether he's a
He
liar or
is.
a racist
That's
or
fine.
whatever,
I don't care,
that's
but
yeah, totally fine. But you know what? I will say it again. Because it's Kyle, everybody's like, yes, go do that. Because why? Kyle's trash and we collectively don't like him. That's why it's okay to everybody. And everybody's like, well, but it's okay. That's kind of like, so, okay. So, hey, we're gonna murder this terrible, awful person, and everybody's like, well, but they're a terrible, awful person, so it's okay. And they're like, okay, well, we're gonna murder this really good person, and everybody's like, what? No, it's illegal. You can't do that. Like that's the way it is. It's like, oh, because it's Kyle, everybody's like, yes, go wall yell. But if it's like somebody who's beloved, then everybody's like, that's cheating. Production should throw people out, cancel it. We're never watching Big Brother. Like,
Okay, no, I'm not like that.
hypocrisy at its
What
finest.
I'm like is
we're not like that because we're sane here.
No,
and so
I'm
is the
just
Well, let's
chat.
not go that far. We're
No,
not
listen.
sane. But
I'm just saying I like it just because if CBS doesn't like it so much, they could literally put a fence around it. They could literally do anything. And if they would have made the twist better, where they weren't actually outside, where we know there have been wall yellers before. It's not our fault that they're living outside whenever they could clearly put them anywhere else. They could put them in the house. They could put a curtain, for God's sakes. CBS literally left themselves open for that
but
one.
That's not our job to go out there and run and yell things over the wall.
Okay,
I am just saying that the fact that the fan did this, it's CBS's
ridiculous.
fault.
I agree. It is ridiculous.
They know that BB Twitter is crazy.
It is not
ridiculous.
It's not
in my
CBS's
opinion.
fault.
Yes, it is.
No.
If
No,
people,
it is
if
not.
literally people are sleeping outside, in the outside, where fans, we already know, go outside and yell over the wall whenever they're casually doing
because
anything.
The fans cannot control themselves, CBS has to now change everything to cater to us. I don't think so. I think people need to get a grip.
I'm just saying, the fact that y'all are mad and the fact that everyone else is mad, I mean,
because
in general,
it's interfering with the game. That's why it pisses me off. Let the game play out.
Then CBS should have known that.
What can CBS do? Move the Big Brother house? Like,
no,
there's
what I'm
nothing
saying
they
is,
could do.
don't make people live outside.
But why not? They could do whatever the hell they want to do. It's their twist.
I'm still saying that the fact that we already knew about this, that they should have known that
it's valid for people to go and wall yell, in my opinion.
I do agree. Listen. Okay, listen. Calm down. Go to your corners. So I do feel like, sorry, I just got my mom/teacher voice out right now. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Sometimes I do that where that was actually real Roxy, normal, everyday voice that you just heard. Go to your corners. I've had enough. Like, that was for real, the real Roxy. You gotta
she
snip
just
it.
talked to us like we were Gunnar and Leighton. Like, we just got that treatment.
You sure did. Or any student that I've ever had in class. Sit down. So anyway, so I will agree, and this is going to be the Libra coming out in me. Zach, I do agree that CBS should have foreseen this, right? They should have foreseen it, but they're morons and they didn't call me and ask. Okay. Well, I also agree wholeheartedly with Nick. Stop doing that crap, you people. Like, stop it. You're interfering with the game. And I will say this, like I tell my kids, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. Know the difference. Just because you can yell over the wall doesn't mean you should. You are interfering with a game that we are trying to watch and you're ruining it. So stop it. Anyway, okay. Okay. What else do we want to talk about that has occurred? Well, anytime over the last week to this week. Anything that we've missed that you just are dying to talk about?
Thank you, BBB. That's all I'm saying. This isn't Survivor. At least on Survivor, they're on an island.
Right. Like you know there's a risk with putting them outside that there will be wall yellers, especially with this cast who...
Yes, but y'all are both saying it's okay to wall yell and that it's CBS's fault, and I'm drawing the line there because you're wrong.
All I'm saying is the fact of the matter is this is CBS's fault. Like,
I don't think it is at all.
I agree that CBS is stupid for doing it, and they shouldn't have. What I don't agree with is going, that's their own fault. We can go do it anyway. No, you can't. Quit. Stop it. Sit down. Go away. Don't do that. No.
Go do it. No. Prove them wrong. This twist was awful.
Prove whom wrong. No, I agree with that too. The twist could have been great, but the execution was absolutely horrific.
Right.
And that's my only thing is that
BB Can will do some crazy shit with this twist. And I'm ready for it.
See, why
Bean said wall yellers. Being in chat. I agree, Jameson. It is getting nowhere, but we don't actually have anything else to talk about. So hold on. So Bean says wall yellers do this every year, so it's part of the game. I don't think so. They do it every year.
Last year,
they do it every year. They do it. They do it often. They do it often. However, I don't think it's part of the game because I don't for a second think that when they sat down and storyboarded the entire season that they said, and let's write down when we want the wall yellers to come because that's part of it. No, no,
Y'all heard it here first. CBS plans
No.
out every single winter.
I agree with what Trell said in the chat, saying I don't think wall yellers have ever changed anyone's minds either, and I
No,
do agree
they
with
don't.
that.
No, I mean,
They
they just
don't.
prevent us from
Cody and
seeing the
Nicole made
They
it
feed.
to the
just
final
prevent
three.
us from seeing the feeds. That's the issue. Is that because someone
Yes.
feels the need to go and wall yell, now I can't watch Big Brother for 14 hours because this person had to go do that. Like that's
And
what
in
pisses
this
me
case-
off.
And in this case, it was all week. We didn't get to see the stupid
Yes.
feeds, and we have to depend on the edited version that we all know is not how it happened. And that is my biggest issue.
I
Well, it's
agree.
not my biggest issue. I have way
Me and
bigger
Roxy
issues
see
than
each
that.
other today.
Most days, to be honest, Nick. Most days.
Yes.
Most days. I mean, I do agree. No outside twist, no wall yeller interference. Well,
Yeah,
during that
so-
during that week, maybe, but there's still I'm sorry, but I think if they had been inside and allowed their outside time as if in prison, there still would have been a wall yeller, whether they lived outside or not. So I think that's a moot point. That's what I think.
Well, that
Anyway,
was my
does
whole
anyone have-
argument anyway.
Well, then I agree. So, yeah. I don't know why I said that so aggressively. I agree.
Literally, we just came to the conclusion that our
We're
whole
all saying
yelling
the
meant
same thing?
nothing. So, who was it? Jameson was right.
Jameson's often right. Does anybody
He
have
is.
anything else that they're dying to start again? Does anyone have anything else that they are dying to discuss?
No.
What's your sign again, Roxy?
Libra.
I said I'm an Aries that I came to fight. So
Oh my gosh, are you an Aries? You and I are the
Yes.
most compatible signs, Nick. That's why we
wait,
like each other.
really? I
Yes.
didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's it.
Makes sense.
Sheila is
Yeah.
an Aries.
Yeah.
Who's
Aries get a little bit hot tempered, and they have to
Sheila
go
is a
off.
queen.
I actually would love to see Sheila on another season. I
So
thought
would I.
she was always like eating Adam and Ryan and whoever up that she was going after.
April
She was,
Dowling.
like, her lesbian strategy, iconic. Like never been done before. Like, come on.
I forgot about that. The her and Allison are a secret
Question.
lesbian.
Good God. We have a question in chat.
Rachel Riley's a
Who can you
Libra.
guys see from this season going on to be on the Challenge USA season or on the original Challenge series?
My girl
Oh.
Taylor.
The
Taylor, no
challenge.
doubt, I think would definitely do
Taylor
it.
on the
Well,
US
Taylor has
Challenge,
said
100%.
yes. Taylor has also
She'll
said
be
though, that she
asked.
wouldn't want to do it. So if she wants to, yes, 100,000%, I think she would. I can also see Joseph, obviously,
Monty.
and Monty. Yeah, I was gonna say those three. I think are definitely like locks for
like
Whatever.
Turner
They're
would be
going to
like-
ask Jasmine.
Turner would
They're
be
going to
the
miss all
oddball.
of her. They're going to miss all of Jasmine's food euphemisms. So they're definitely inviting her. Jasmine, we need somebody to come on and compare us to food items in a weird way, in a fake Southern accent.
No,
Are you
Jasmine's
available?
gonna get the DF treatment.
I could see that.
Oh
She
no,
ain't
she's
gonna
gonna
get invited
be
to
I
anything.
hope.
she's
And
gonna be
was,
working
like,
out for a
thirsty
year,
for it,
talking
commenting on
shit
all of
on
the-
Twitter.
Commenting on all the challenges.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Invite me, please.
Jameson says they better not ask Nicole or Daniel, and I think that is
Ew.
No.
They don't have
way-
a lot of people to ask because Nicole, Daniel.
Well, I think that's a way better thing to or a way more fun thing to think about is who do you hope that they never ask to go on any of those shows?
this
Kyle.
whole
Daniel
cast.
is at the top of my
Alyssa.
list.
Kyle. I do not want to see Kyle on the challenge. I think I
could
would
see
rather.
Alyssa getting on there. I didn't
I
think
could definitely
Alyssa.
see Alyssa getting on there,
I didn't think Alyssa Lopez was gonna get on there, but
and
Hi,
she
Damien.
fucking it up. Just saying. You want to hear something funny? I think that I could see Amira getting a call for the MTV one.
oh my gosh, I forgot she was on this season.
I kind
Yeah,
of do
I can
too all
actually
the
see
time.
that too.
But if you look at who MTV casts for the challenge, it is predominantly, or well, from Big Brother, I should say, it is a lot of people of color that Big Brother has. Like if you look back, they have Amber, Casey, Fessy, Josh. Like they take a lot of the
Natalie.
POC. Natalie, yeah, they do. They take a lot of Devon, Jose. Like they take a lot of Big Brother's POC. Bailey, Swaggy. I could keep going. So I could
think that's
definitely see. I think it might be it, but so maybe I can't keep going. I could see
That's the second
someone
time you've done
random.
that.
That is the second time I've done that. Anyways, I could just see Amira randomly getting a call to be on the MTV version, but
Even the twins got on somehow.
yeah, the twins. Morgan got on, which was chef's kiss for me, but she didn't last very long. So
Morgan,
yeah, and then
is
Banana
that
said she was too
from?
nice for it. So
OTT.
That's from
Oh, yeah.
like the
Didn't she like
online, yeah.
date Bananas? Then I saw her go on X on the Beach.
Yeah, well, she was on X on the Beach and
before
then
the challenge.
yeah, and then she went on the challenge like immediately after, and that's when she was dating Bananas for like 2 years, and then he cheated on her because he sucks. I said it,
Bananas.
Zach.
Okay,
Anyway.
well, that's just wrong. But anyway, I mean, he ain't no CT, but no one is.
Oh,
He also has more wins than CT, so
CT's hotter though, so
I've been watching CT since he was on Paris back in season 2 of Real World,
when
and
he
I was
was
like,
hot.
"Who this?"
He
Like,
was
was
I'm
on
sorry, I
HWT, honey.
can't do anything for any of you because I'm watching this person on this show, and I'm not going to stop.
I hate you.
What is that?
it's Banana.
Banana's giving him a shout out.
Ew.
Yeah, listen, Zach paid him for that.
Thank you, Zach.
So
I got a cameo from Ted, or not Ted, Kevin Ted Jacobs.
Really?
Yeah, for my
You
birthday.
called
I
him
bought
Ted.
it.
That's funny.
I did.
I got one
funny.
from Kat.
Oh, I love that.
Also, if
Yeah.
Anal Ice can get on the challenge, anyone can.
Well, right, exactly, Zach. That's what I was trying to say there. Like, if someone like Annalise could get the call to be on the challenge, why can't Amira? Like, I could just see it happening randomly.
I always knew Tommy would, just because I don't mind Tommy. I mean, honestly,
I don't mind Tommy either, especially after I met him in person. He was actually really nice, so he could go on the show and get some money, I guess. I don't know.
but after the show, in the show, and after the show are different things to me. Almost always.
Oh,
Not
I
always.
agree.
Almost. Like there are some
Mhm.
exclusions, Jackson Mickey. There are some exclusions, like who you are on the show. I still think that's who you are outside of the show. But for the most part, when the show is over, I could have hated you and talked so much trash about you the entire season. I've been like, you're so stupid and I hate your guts. But when the show's over, I'm like, especially years later, I'm like, I mean, not so bad, whatever, because ultimately it's Big Brother and it's really not that big of a deal. But
unlike the girl Jasmine, nothing but love for her.
so apparently Taylor's crying right now on the feeds. Big Sissy Banana, may I call you Big Sissy? Is in chat. Big Sissy Banana, may I call you Big Sissy? Says, well, she agrees. In and off the show are different. Thank you, Big Sissy Banana. May I call you Big Sissy? I'm so glad to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. One of my favorite chat people, mostly because I love seeing that.
When I met, I don't know. Whenever I met Spencer, he kind of is how I pictured him to be. But I think he's different.
Spencer, like from Survivor.
No, Spencer
from Big Brother 15 because he lives like 40 minutes from here.
Oh, I didn't realize
He lives
that.
in the town where my daughter cheers. Like I go there many times a week.
I didn't mean to do
Conway.
That was really funny. I was like,
Yes, in Conway. Okay. So anything else? Because I think we're ready to wrap up. And when I say we, I mean me.
Sam. No.
I am too. I'm I need
Brittany
to go
for
eat
the
dinner.
win
I'm
of the
hungry.
season. I'm a Brittany stan. I am believing in Brittany. Hashtag Brittany BB24.
That's a stretch.
All right, y'all can say that, but we'll talk at the we'll talk in October, okay? Don't talk to me until finale night. Thank you.
I mean, we didn't think Kevin was gonna win, but he pulled it out, so I guess anything is possible.
I thought Kevin was gonna win.
Well, no, I'm
I
thinking
mean-
I'm just saying we don't usually
I
get a
was like-
winner where it's like
I
we
was
want him to
standing pretty
win
hard all
and
season.
he should win, but I thought that he was gonna get screwed somehow.
Well, that's true.
He should
I
have
kind of feel that.
been.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they just weren't smart
I
enough.
mean,
Okay,
if Josh
stop.
if Josh didn't pull a stupid move and bring him, but
Yeah.
Well, part
I'm
of the
glad he
game.
did.
Nick, do you have anything?
I don't think so. I
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm good.
Play Island in the
All
Streets.
right. Well, listen, we will be back
I don't know
here.
how to play that. I was trying
That's
to figure
right,
it out.
Aura.
I'm good if you don't. That is, most people don't even know why we do that. It is a joke about Daniel from a long time ago.
Thank you guys for joining
Yes,
us.
thank you for
Where's
coming.
the chair spinning outro?
Yeah, come on, Zach. We were promised it.
You're welcome.
Wait, not yet. Listen, don't spin until I'm ready. Unless you just want to spin continuously, which also would be fun. So,
I don't remember how it
different
goes.
face every time you come around, except they're all the same face, like Blue Steel. Anyway, so we will be back here on Wednesday to discuss everything that happens. By then, we'll know all of the details about veto, replacement, anything crazy that goes down, and we'll talk about that and the Sunday episode and the Wednesday episode, and then until then, you can follow us at the Nick City. I'm Roxy_Hotman, the Reality Casey, and the Zach Perez. Why is everybody a the except me? Because I'm special, that's why. Anyway, thanks for
You don't need
coming.
the
We love you
the.
guys. We love you guys. Everybody except Divine. Anyway, okay. Bye.
Bye.